who remembers A, what happened last week, and B, the name of the female railjack?
B is going to be a complete wash.
Yeah, B.
Because
we've already discussed.
So,
I don't remember.
Yeah, so before we started recording, I asked these guys.
Wait a minute.
The Secret Notebook of Wayne.
Oh yeah, Wayne's not here.
Yep. So a couple things is A, I forgot the name of this character, which is cool because everyone else did too. And Wayne isn't here.
I should have wrote it down because my character was actually like, "Oh fuck, what's up, bro?"
Svenna the Railjack.
Yay!
Ice Blonde! I knew Ice was in it.
Oh man, Wayne's the best.
Thanks,
Even
Fozzie.
when he's not
And
here.
you know what?
Well,
you know what?
there you go,
Hey, Wayne. Have a... Was that Beethoven?
Wayne gets a Beethoven. Waka waka. No, you guys just use my Beethoven tonight. I'm not here. Actually, we can't make fun of him. Wayne is at a funeral of a family member. It's very sad. But it is what it is. That's
God,
right.
Chad.
I know. I'm fucking bring the room
Jesus,
down.
dude. Have some fucking gall.
No.
Sweet boy.
God, what's her name?
Svenna the Ice Queen.
Then, let's see.
no, it's blonde ice or ice blonde.
Oh, Ice Blonde.
Ice Blonde. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I fucked it up. Thanks, Wayne.
Blonde. Ice blonde.
Blonde.
Which is actually a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
It's something I would never put together because the two just sound like they don't go. But it works.
Timothy.
I always wanted to make like a female like Superman named Platinum Blonde.
That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. The other railjack is Timothy Flint. Flint's his actual name. And he doesn't have a nickname because A, he's kind of, like we said, he's more down to earth and
He's a big pussy.
Yeah.
No. He's a real hero.
He's a fucking pussy and power.
Timothy, a real American
Does Timothy Flint have flame power? Does he use a flamethrower?
No.
No, he's a pussy.
He just uses undrinkable drinking water.
Nice. An obnoxiously wealthy fat propagandist.
God damn.
I hate to say this, Dan, but so do all your characters too. But, I mean, it's kind of a shitty
It's
world.
like 60% lead.
Actually, isn't that water flammable? So technically, yeah, he has flame powers.
Yeah, he just sprays
Lake
flammable
Michigan
water. It's very weird.
You can take it on airplanes and stuff. It's water.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So Wayne's not here. He's a Muppet. We're doing Fozzie. But the thing I'm going to do is that he just ate some bad fish and he is shitting his soul out on a toilet. So, if anybody wants to talk to him, he's going to be like, waka waka, I'm pooping.
Considering that, only 1 in 5 of us ate bad fish, that's pretty good considering the world. I suspect that bad fish is like a 1 in 3 sort of thing.
Right. Well, think of it like eating bad fish is the norm. So when you get sick from it, it's real bad.
Oh my God. I just didn't want to think about the distended,
It's distended.
At least I can be in the bathtub while I'm pooping.
There is a whole chapter in the book about food, and it's really cool. It's a really interesting. It's bizarre as fuck. I've actually tried to incorporate it into every campaign I've been in of how the food works in this world. But
That's
it's never
one
gotten
thing
around to it.
I haven't even asked about. But thinking about it, livestock doesn't make sense. So, yeah, how the fuck does food work?
You should read the fucking chapter. It's in there.
Like, only about 2 hours. If you take away the sun, that is...
Yeah.
There is no food chain anymore.
Right.
No. I mean,
Everything's...
I think
Is it like Phantasmic, the glow of like the shit
either
frozen
if
from
you
it?
read it, don't say anything. I might be able to get it in here of how this works.
I'm definitely
read
gonna.
it.
I need to read it. I have the book. Like I have the fucking book, and I read like character creation and a little bit past that, and I was like, I don't need to read this. Like,
Right.
Because I wanted to experience it.
Sure.
Because I don't actually. It sounds like I'm just lazy. I don't like going into games knowing more than my character about the setting.
Yeah.
I like to experience the setting.
So yeah, Wayne's not going to be part of it. Cool. We're just going to hand wave him off. So what happened last time? Who wants to go over it?
Well, we got to meet.
Oh shit! Someone who's not Brodor.
We got to meet the greatest heroes of our time, Railjacks. Timothy Flint is in a city with no heroes. Timothy Flint stands above all of them. We
Smiling.
found out that the rollers were doing something. They actually left in a different train than ours.
Trying to fuck us over.
Right. They're trying. So we're determining whether or not we're going to have to either leave a trap for them at a way station, or wait for them.
And you decided not to because you looked at the schedules and everything, and they're leaving way after you guys.
Right.
They're same direction,
Yeah.
Parallel tracks, but
I think the idea was because there's a stop before we get to where we're going, is that they're probably going to stop there and wait for us.
And we were supposed to.
no, you guys were leaving first.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
I see.
once we get to where we're going, they'll be at that point.
Gotcha.
So
Right. And,
Because you got
So when we come back,
yeah.
yeah, we thought maybe they would do something.
and Dr. Proust has his Heward's handy
Locker.
Ghost key.
Oh, yeah.
that he can.
Best description of use of a ghost key I've seen, because the description of the ghost key in the book is a GM's nightmare.
Yeah, it just says there were doors from before the apocalypse that these ghost keys open, and that's
Yeah.
It doesn't
The
explain beyond
implication
that.
is basically you have a key and you can go anywhere. And it's like it's dimension door at will, and yeah. Anyway, so thank you, Dan. I do
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
And we're traveling with Callum because we're trying to find the use for the lens that's going to allow people to teleport.
You're wanting to get a second lens.
Second lens.
Yeah, for the device that is not made.
Right.
From the man.
The man.
And we saw
I'm sticking to that man.
The man.
I am. He's the man.
Svenna,
The stranger.
The ice blonde.
the ice blonde, who is the second best Railjack.
Nah, she's the best son. Look at her. She's beautiful.
No,
Seen
check the
that
stats. Look at the
She
back
probably
of the car.
stopped ghosts in the tracks just by looking at it.
Look at the back of the card. And he's like, I'm not looking at the card.
I'll look at the back, but I ain't looking at no card.
Check the stats.
Oh, I'm checking the stats.
I got on Top's website, and you could make custom player cards.
Yeah.
And I found some cyberpunk imagery, and I made a baseball card for Flint. I was very proud of it.
Yeah. Uncle Trickle has two of them. One that he shows everybody, and the other one he has locked up in the safe. That's what.
That's why you went.
That's why you hold that.
That's the real reason we went after the
It's
safe.
after the safe.
It was his fucking card collection.
Doesn't have any money in it.
That still has the bubble gum.
That's right. It still smells like bubble gum.
And Alex got fucking teleported into another dimension for that shit.
That's right.
That's why he's weeping. When he cries, he weeps and cries
demon
because he
Jesus.
had to look into that reality.
That's why he's so pissy now, because he knew what it was.
We all suffered for this. And so the face just punctulated. This is the only way to contain his rage without having a heart attack.
No, yeah, he made the deal with that demon. He's trying to get back at Treacle now.
Weeping face jizz. That sounds like a
face.
that sounds like a sewer juice song.
Oh! Man, if we don't find some musically talented people to make this a real thing,
And we'll be in a better world.
no.
So,
And Jack is sharing a room with Reggie.
Proust.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
Jack sharing a room with me. I'm sorry, Uncle Treacle
Yeah,
sharing.
I'm
a room with
sharing a room
Proust.
with Proust because
Alex whined about
he
it.
whined about it so bad that Uncle Treacle was like, "Fine, you fuck bitch."
yeah, I think
Proust is
Alex
your best
owes him.
investment. Proust still has the gang's money
Right.
because he's the only one that picked it up.
But there is of it. I don't even know how much you guys have.
Like 2.
Yeah, Proust has 2 coins of his own that he got from I don't remember what, and then there's 2 coins also that the gang has, which are currently in Proust's possession.
That's right.
Because nobody else bothered to pick them up.
Proust is the treasurer.
It's almost. To be honest, though, that's not a bad thing
Better
because
than
he
Booker.
doesn't
That's
really
right.
care about money. So
Yeah, he's not going to spend it. And on top
No.
of that, how far gone do you have to be to go to the insane asylum, to his room, and toss his room to find it?
Right.
Proust, can we have our money back?
Yeah, please. I don't.
I didn't want to come here already.
You know
Yeah.
what? Maybe we don't need that money.
I say there's going to be like naked ghost-possessed people getting sprayed with fire hoses, screaming in the hallways. But hey, if you want the money that bad,
Oh, he's probably storing it in somebody's prison wallet there.
The other ghost key.
That's where the ghost key goes.
Jonathan, would you do the honors? And he just bends over. There's your coin.
You didn't put a glove on.
Oh, God.
Well, I got to be able to feel it and see if that's exactly a coin or
Why are the coins so muddy?
Buddy, yeah.
muddy. Yeah, we got rusty coins.
oh no. You don't have to reach in. That dude makes exact change.
He just pulls his arm like a slot machine.
That's right.
Oh. And so the train blows up, you all die, and now we're playing Shadowrun.
Okay.
All right. So, also last week, we ended it with basically you guys were in the bar car, and there are 2 bar cars because remember it's not just booze because you're on this thing for I think I said 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So it is kind of a restaurant car, a little bit less formal.
Are the windows? Are there windows? Or are
Yes.
they covered?
Yeah, because we
Yes.
talked about Proust was looking at all the abominations outside.
Right. Well, that's why I was thinking, would they
So-
be open? Because if it's that horrible out there, like,
Well,
wouldn't you
think-
cover it to make you
Think
not
of it
forget?
this way.
And not
What
think
it
about it?
should be like Snowpiercer, right? Where
Right.
it's this armored tank of a train. What it is like Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
it's
yeah,
like-
that's what I thought
because
it would
it's
be
the
like,
the thematics of
It's fancy.
it. Yeah, it's fancy stuff. And so there are 3 classes. There's towards the front. There's the first class. So everybody's individual sleepers. There's not a whole lot of them. They have a bar, sort of restaurant cars, probably has like nicer food or whatever. And then there is their luggage, and then there's second class where you guys are at, which is what we would consider normal. You guys kind of they're sleepers. You got to share them though. The food here is what you're used to, and there's a bar and stuff, and this is also sort of the social area. And then there is luggage and probably some cargo, and then there's third class, and third class is I'm not saying it's terrible, right? It's not like the worst, but it's 3 days. There's no sleepers. There's no food. You bring your own food.
It's the poor people of the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's where the most fun happens, but you don't want to go there.
It's like a hostel, but for travel.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I was picturing it more like the Irish in steerage.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is.
I mean, jokes aside.
Yeah. It's I don't want to say that it's a cattle car for people, but it is. Yeah, it's not
cramped. It's not like comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want
Not
to.
many amenities.
You don't want to do
Crying babies and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one bathroom,
Right.
and it's not that great. And,
It's what you can afford.
right. Yeah.
2 fiddles for every person.
Right. But I can also imagine, like you said, it's where all the fun happens.
Where all the fun is. Everybody makes out.
Yep. So, and we had ended last time with you guys were.
And so it begins.
Waka waka.
My wife made homemade kimchi.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Did she put it in the ground for like 6 months? And
She did not.
Bruno, that is a warning that you give everybody before we even get to this fucking house.
We could have moved the game.
We can record it outside to do this.
and Wayne's not here with his little fan.
Or to absorb it all.
I mean, not that you and I ever smell it, but
We might
Let's get more in the middle of the table here. Here we are now.
Wayne is a carbon-based life form that absorbs most of the smell for us. I'm gonna get you some of those like stink underwear that like that have those carbon.
I'm going to give him diapers lined with dryer sheets.
right.
It's charcoal lined underwear.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god.
So,
I'm just scared. I don't even know if I'll smell it, but I'm scared that I will.
That's why I'm glad
It's
Wayne's
frightening.
not here. The last time Wayne had the fan right behind him.
Yeah, it's like blowing
yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about it. Oh, Mike.
Anyway.
Michael. Why does
Using
your wife
proper.
not like us? I mean, that's the real question.
My wife doesn't like anybody.
Well, that's fair.
That's why she loaded him up. And he's not gonna be here.
He's not gonna be here. I'm not gonna smell his ass.
I don't give a
Yep.
shit.
Oh my god, I can screw over like 5 guys. All right, so we ended last time with you guys. We're doing some role playing stuff, and you were trying to think about, well, how are the rollers going to screw us? What was their plan? And then your train, you felt it start to slow down. And you were about, I think, halfway to...
We're still... so we're coming to the first stop, or we're like still
Or
a ways
is this,
away?
what is our
You-
schedule?
You are halfway to midpoint.
Oh.
So
So probably like the idea is monster
You're-
or ghost or whatever.
We're 25% of the way there.
right,
Yes.
And the train stops, and you look out the window, and it's just blackness and water.
you are very like you can open up the map. I mean, they have maps and kind of stuff. You are very close to the coast where you will go out over the water. You're
okay.
not quite there yet, but you're very close.
If you go outside of the city, because I'm assuming because of all like industry and stuff, it's like London. It's just fog and shit all the time.
Yeah.
Or like cloudy.
Yeah.
Do we actually see sky? Like not blue, obviously, but like do we see
The sky is like the sky at night.
Okay.
And it is foggy, hazy, gross, sooty, all that sort of stuff. And what you see in the sky is a burnt out red ember that used to be the sun.
Ooh.
And when it is nighttime, you don't really see that anymore. And when it's daytime, you do kind of see it.
So it's like always it's perpetually dark.
We had a running gag that wasn't a gag in the past 2 games, and it's in this game too. There are 2 times of day. It is more dark and less dark.
So the sky that you can see, it's like night, but is it like reds, like or anything?
Or stars?
Okay, so there are no stars in the sky, and when you're in the city, it's the the light pollution glow.
Sure.
You'll see that,
Sure,
but like
yeah.
way the hell out here where there's nothing. No, it is pitch black. There's no moon. There's no stars when you look up. But when you look into the water is black like ink. And when you look into it and stare into it, you can see constellations off in the distance in the water.
In the water.
In the water.
So it's like kind of like actual like apocalyptic sort of imagery, like the stars fell into the sea sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean that I don't know literally or not, but
Right.
yes, it is definitely that kind of imagery. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, remember
fucking sweet.
this is the end of the world happened, and none of you are supposed to be here.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite go how apocalypse should go, where everything was wiped out.
What is between the cars? Meaning, it's like, okay, Murder on the Orient Express, that era of
Yeah.
trains. There was nothing sealing the passageway between cars.
Correct.
So if you walked out of one car, you were standing on
The little
a
thing,
little
yeah.
walkway, that just lets you step over to the next
You
car.
can okay. So outside the city walls are what are called the Deadlands, not the Wild West.
Right, yeah.
They're called the Deadlands or the Deathlands, and they're filled with monsters and ghosts. And I remember last week I described you guys saw trees and stuff, but the trees are like petrified stone, and everything is just blasted, waste and whatnot. And you see skittering horrors, eyes and that sort of stuff. It isn't like a sea of zombies or anything like that, but you see that stuff passing off in the distance, going between the rocks and whatnot. And you can go out there. You don't need like a spacesuit or anything like that. In fact, the military sends troops out into the Deadlands around Duskwall to kind of clean up and control the monsters and shit.
To kind of make a barrier.
Yeah, because they have the electrophasmic shields, and that's just kind of to enhance that.
Okay.
And in fact, hounds, I think it's described that hounds are part of the military that does that. They scout through the Deadlands.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So Proust is going to...
I'm sorry. Let me...
Okay, go ahead.
Almost done with my intro here. And so... And keep in mind what you're going to do, because I'm going to do something here for a sec.
Okay.
So the train slows, and you guys kind of like look at each other like, what the fuck? A couple hours earlier, you guys are in the dining car. You, Reggie, and Jack had talked about like we are hitting the bar.
Yeah.
And
I'm the way I look at it is Reggie's not looking out the window.
Right.
Like when he was young, he saw out and he never wants to see a game kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he's trying to avoid it. He's pretending like it's not there.
Right.
So if you see him looking somewhere, he's only looking down the car or up the car, never towards windows.
Yep.
Or looking down, like at his drink or something.
Jack, got a sandwich and you told Jack, like, that smell right to you? And that look right to you? And as you're saying it, he, like, engulfs the whole thing. And he's like, what?
Oh, Jackie, no. and I pour him another drink because we've gotten a bottle at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, wash it down with this, please.
He washes it down like, well, I feel waka waka, and then goes around. He has a horn and he goes running towards the so that's where that's what happened to Jackie. The bartender is and we're going to be playing like back and then up again, so remember what you were going to do.
It can occur back before too. So
sure, absolutely.
Timing's not important.
Yep. So to set the scene, like I said, it's a couple hours earlier. You guys had gotten on. You're settled in, so to speak. Especially you, Reggie, and Jack are settled in. Callum is in the sleeper car. It's you and Callum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alex and Callum are together. Or, well, bunked together. He's in the sleeper car, and he's reading a book. We'll find out where you guys are. The bartender, he is a big bloke. He's just this big dude, kind of older. He's got some streaks through his hair, and he he's in a suit, white shirt, vest, but no overcoat. His sleeves are rolled up.
Does he have the ties? Like the
He has the ties and stuff, and
Nice.
He's slinging. But what's weird about it is, this guy has tattoos, right? And he has some tattoos on his neck, a couple on his face, and this is a hard dude. You guys are part of the life. A couple of you guys have been in prison.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know who this guy is, but this guy was one of you.
Yeah.
At some earlier point in his life.
Yeah. Not fucking with this guy.
Right. And he's old, so maybe this is a dude who retired or something like that. But
Does he look like Danny Trejo?
no, bigger. Big,
Oh, okay.
Big dude. But yeah, think that gristled and chewed up and old.
His skin is much more pocked.
Right.
Oof. How? He wouldn't have skin if he was more hot than Danny Trejo.
But he chat up with it. He seems like a nice dude.
Cool.
In the car, there are a couple of other people, civilians, we'll call them. Not military, not gangers, not anything like that. People coming and going. There are a couple of Takariosans there, which is not surprising because that's where you guys are going. And there is two women who are kind of this is going to sound weird. They're dressed like men. And what I mean by that is that, a woman might wear a dress and a guy might wear a suit, but these women are wearing like you guys are. You guys, except maybe like Callum, and I don't know how Treacle is dressed, but kind of rigged up, if you know what I mean. Maybe there's a bulge where there's a gun. We're going to say a light load, but with a light load and how you guys would operate, how you guys are currently operating, it's nothing obvious. Like you could walk past a blue coat and they wouldn't say anything, sort of thing. Unlike how Reggie and Jack would walk past a blue coat on your home turf with your heavy load, cracking knuckles, and blue coats would be like, whoa,
Right.
and step away. So, like I said, I'm kind of throwing that one out to you for free here, is that these two, don't know who they are, but they're kind of rigged up. So you got this bartender behind the thing, chatting with him, whatever. You got a couple of people. We're going to say there's two Takariosans, and they have some weird features that I have not decided on yet, and will if you decide to talk to them, or no. If you don't, I'm not going to worry about it. But and then a couple of just people who are normal civilians. And I'm going to assume you guys see this because, like, you live lives of danger. You walk into a room, you read the room. There are the exits. There are the dangers.
You get used to seeing things like that.
This is how you live.
Yeah. It's almost not even like a second thought. It's like, you wouldn't think like, oh, that's a threat. It's just like,
You're sizing them up.
Yeah. And that's one of the things you notice too is that when those two walked in the room, they sized you up. They sized the room up too. So apparently these are players. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Chekhov's gangsters. They might come up later. So I'm going to go around here. I'm going to go with Reggie last because we kind of know what Reggie's doing.
Yeah.
So what is everyone doing here?
So Treacle is.
I'm sorry. There are also two other people here as well. The two Railjacks are in here.
What?
I know. I did literally forget about them. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, Flint is at the bar and he's chatting with the bartender. Not distracting. I mean, the guy's working and stuff, and apparently ththese two know each other. And
he's probably on this train often.
Well, on the train often, yeah. They're coworkers essentially. And Svenna, she's just kind of talking to people, celebrity, right? She's signing autographs and stuff. People are coming up, not a lot. A couple of people are coming up from the third class, and basically kind of like, can I? And she's like, yeah, sure, and signing autographs, and then like the usher or something might see him and might say, oh no, and there'll be an interaction where she's like, oh no, that's my hero. Okay, you don't want him to get pissed off. It's cool. And then that's kind of been going on with her. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Gosh, she's so sweet.
She's second rate. She's bush league.
Uncle, what is with you? When you can't recognize an angel among us.
All right. So Treacle is playing cards with whoever will play with him, and smoking a mushroom cigar.
Oh.
I bet those smell pretty fucking foul. Smells like shit.
What do you think?
They grow them and shit.
Oh, God.
What do you think the wine is they're serving at the bar?
Bruno.
Will mushrooms ferment?
I mean, they burn.
I mean, where there's a will, there's a way.
So anything with sugar, anything with sugar
carbohydrates,
will
yeah.
ferment. So I don't know off the top of my head what the
And these are
composition.
These are
is or
crazy
whatever.
apocalypse mushrooms too.
Sure.
So they can do all sorts of things.
Okay, yeah, why not?
They glow blue.
They glow blue. Yeah, they glow blue when you light them. The cigars. Yeah, they smell like burning shit.
Well, I tell you what, you have a lighter. The lighter does not. There's no naphtha. There's no lighter fluid. You light it, and it's a device, right? That it's an electrical device that doesn't even shoot a blue
Fucking
flame.
lighting it up with goddamn demon blood.
You are. It's the
How
only
fucking
thing.
metal is that shit? Fucking smoking demon blood, fucking ghost mushrooms. Like, that's fucking dope.
It's just the apocalypse, man.
Dude.
Light up.
Fucking sick.
So yeah, PCs or NPCs, whoever wants to play, we're playing, but
Anyone playing with them?
What are you guys playing?
just we're betting. It's a bet, poker or whatever.
Okay. I'm not playing, but I constantly keep looking over, trying to see who's got the best hand from where I can see.
And I'm reading Reggie to see.
Are you giving him? Are you purposely giving him?
I'd like. So he's looking at me, and I can only see two guys on this side.
Yeah.
And I'll like take drinks based on like what kind of cards they got.
And that's our normal move.
Right.
But because Timothy's here, I'm not paying attention to Reggie.
Right. You've given him signals. In fact, you're maybe getting a little tipsy.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get. No, this guy.
Yeah.
Chuck, this guy. All right, so you're playing cards. You're giving signals and stuff. Why don't you just give me a fortune roll real quick? I would say you have an advantage with him, but you also have a disadvantage.
Yeah,
so that's
He's starstruck.
Because I'm starstruck.
right. Have you asked him for an autograph yet?
I think didn't I ask him for one last time? I stood in
I
line
think
with
so,
the kids.
so, yeah.
so
Well,
I'm-
yes, because you rolled to see you only got one, and it was his.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what you say. But
Yeah. And then there was a scene with him and Dr. Danchev kissed.
Right.
And then I think it was Alex or maybe Reggie was going to like say something like, no, give him space.
yeah.
That's right. All right. So I would use insight because that's my best one, but
Yeah.
I don't think that works. I think it's more of a resolve because I'm I'm trying to use more command and consort, and
Right.
so I have 2 dice for that. A 4.
4.
Success,
Success, but your eyes blow up.
Kick ass.
Did you see what he's smoking?
This just gets more and more metal.
Smoking Book of Revelation mushrooms lit off demon energy. And
This is like a great 70s metal like album cover like, happening right now.
just made his eyes explode.
So here's what happens. Nothing bad happens for you.
Okay.
You empty your thing, you're getting a little tipsy, you put your drink down, and the bartender gives you a look.
I kind of look at him like, what?
Like, and he just kind of like glances at the poker game or the card game, and then back to you and raises his eyebrow, and then he slides one over.
All right. Thanks. I raise my glass to him.
He gives a nod. What is Alexander doing?
So I'm in the same car, not out of desire, but out of necessity. Because Callum's back in our bunk reading. I need a place to work, and it's like the only place to have a table is going to be a dining car or social car.
Right.
So I'm tucked away in the corner, furthest away from the action, with all my, my pen and all my maps and shit out as I'm trying to continue.
You're trying not to be too obvious that you're turning this into a lab workshop.
Right.
But you're failing.
Yeah, because all your papers are all over and what have you. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to turn that into my workspace to use that spare time to work on my maps project.
Cool.
And I'll of course have a drink and occasionally be distracted and interested in looking up if I hear exclamations or anything noise. There's something that would attract my attention.
Sure. So what is Dr. Proust doing?
Proust is going outside the cars, and you said it's open air.
Absolutely.
So he is going to...
Now, it is not that I think you're going to do anything. Just so you know, it's raised. Like it's not on the ground like in a western. It is raised. I'll say 90 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So he's going to climb across the top of the cars to the boxcar that has the foodstuffs for the upper class.
Okay. So what you notice about this, what Dan notices about this, and what Dr. Proust probably knows, like everyone knows, it's actually exceedingly easy to climb to the top of the cars. There's ladders. In fact, there's little, I wouldn't call them handrails on the sides of the cars, but there's like little lips and stuff. And as you walk across, because they need to be accessible to the rail jacks.
Yep.
You also notice that on the top of each car, near the back, there's like a metal box built into the each car. It's about half the size of this table. It's a kitchen table, so this is probably like 3 feet across, 3 feet high, we'll say. Metal box. It has like a lid. It's locked, whatever, and it's on each one of them. You know what they were, but
Right.
Of course.
yeah. It's basically just like supplies in case it's for the railjacks. If they need to refuel, if they need a weapon breaks, first aid, whatever. Okay, so
I have a replica box that I arrange it just how Timothy does, because every railjack has to arrange theirs in a certain way.
The more Reggie finds out about this, the more he's just like, God, I thought I knew this.
Like, we're losing even more respect for him.
I've looked up to this man my whole life. What in the hell have I been doing? No, it's not like that. But it's definitely one of those like, what the fuck? It's like when you meet somebody who's in their 50s who's super into baseball cards. Like, what the fuck? What, 4 years old now? Like,
this is worth $10,000. What are you talking
to you?
Right.
It's like, what the fuck?
You notice Dr. Proust walks by you because you're at the end of the car, by the door basically, and actually people have been kind of coming in and out because it's the the third class is kind of working their way up to see if they can sneak in, maybe grab a bite to eat.
What's the air like when they open it up? Because like usually on a train, if those doors open up, there's always like some gust of wind or something. Is it just like horrid fucking heat or anything? Or
It's cold.
Cold.
It's not frosty, icy. But yeah, it's a blast of cold air, and it isn't like the metal stench of death or anything like that. No, but it is. When you travel to a different place, the air smells different and that sort of thing.
But there's no vegetation anywhere, so it's like it's probably like stale or something.
It might be stale. If there's a storm, there might be like some electric ozone in the air. There currently isn't a storm. But yeah, it smells different. It's a little colder. It's probably pretty noticeable to Reggie, too, because this might be the first time Reggie's been on a train.
Second time. The first, I only added that
right?
last time because of where I'm from, and I had
gotcha.
to ride a train to get to.
Oh, you're from Dagger Island. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
That's the only other time I've been on, so it's like it's like a childhood memory I don't really remember kind of thing.
And you've probably been on boats quite a bit too, not necessarily whaling ships too, but yeah. Okay, cool. Dr. Prouse walks past Alexander. You notice that Alexander is like doing very poorly at not taking over this table and doing his stuff. He has there's like a half-eaten sandwich there, which is very, very different from the one that Jack ate. So it's not the Waka Waka special. There's a half-eaten. It's the mad scientist thing, right? There's like a half-eaten or a half-drank cup of coffee with a half-eaten piece of bread sticking out of it that he just kind of moved aside and holding a pencil and as he's working on what looks like maps as you walk by. I don't know if you guys say anything or not.
I have wasted many a cup of coffee in my life exactly in that fashion. Just forget. Just getting caught up. No, I don't know what time of day is it.
It is less
dark, but like afternoon doctor.
Oh, sorry, got me sticking a pretzel in my mouth.
No, roleplay now.
Hi.
Still Prouse has a dick in his mouth.
He literally has a pretzel, like this big ass.
Prouse takes a book out of his messenger bag and shows you a drawing he's made of some unspeakable horror, and is like, "Did you happen to catch this one?"
No, doctor, I did not.
Sight to behold. I hope they kill it.
Quite horrible, but
Oh, it is, isn't it? It doesn't belong here. No, it shouldn't be here, but it is here. We passed it some ways back.
it's very nice line work.
Oh, you mean my drawing? I thought you meant the creature itself. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want to go try and enhance your soul?
I'm a bit busy at the moment. Perhaps later.
Well, good does not have a season, for the things that need good do not have any season. For its time is always now. It is a fruit that is ever ripe.
I appreciate that, but I really need to get this done, and I feel like that if we find ourselves in the sewers in the future, will all of us be glad that I spent the time doing this?
Well, hopefully you won't die before we brighten your soul.
Well, I will pray that I don't.
I can't imagine anyone in there but you.
I don't... Okay.
Well, best of luck.
Did you mean in here?
Oh, yes, your body. It suits you, you know. It really suits you. It's like your soul and your body were made for each other. That's not true of everyone. It's not. Have you ever seen a beautiful person with an ugly heart?
Yes. I have.
Then you understand what I mean. But your body suits you, and so I do so worry about that mark on your face, the way it weeps, that perhaps it is an outward reflection of some inward reality that must be addressed.
It's a reminder.
Oh,
Like all scars.
oh no, not a reminder. Because it still sprays a life of its own. scars are healed over. That's not healed, is it? It won't heal.
You're right. It is a festering wound. And every moment's like it just happened. It's not a scar, you're right.
Once we get back to Duskwall, perhaps we should have that section of your jaw amputated.
It's over his eye.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
But the mandible goes all the way up the side of the face, where it actually connects near the eye. So
Jesus Christ.
I tell you what. Let's meet in the middle, and perhaps when we return, we could look into it.
Oh, why not?
Not the amputation, just the affliction.
Then why not come with me now? Let's cleanse your heart a little.
And I start folding up my papers and begrudgingly put them back into my valise. And, clean up my and dry my pen and do all my bullshit and get all my fucking work together. And I follow Proust outside into the goddamn cold and wind on this fucking train.
It's only the end of the world. What are you bitching about?
Right. I'm sorry.
My bad.
Yeah. After you, Doctor.
Do you know one of he climbs to the top of the car.
Well, okay, wait. So before you do that,
Okay.
you step outside.
Mm-hmm.
There is a woman outside smoking like a cigarette. She's leaning against. She is one of the two that I had described before. And like I said, it sounds really weird. She's one of the ones in pants, but like I said, it's the rigging, like you guys.
Right.
Yeah. And she's one of them, and she's standing outside, leaning against the train, smoking. And she has something in her hand, and when the door opens, she's kind of like this. So the edge is right here, and she's kind of like this, and then it opens, and she just puts the object in her coat. It kind of looks at you, and
Like a mirror?
I don't know. You're gonna ask her.
No.
Okay.
I don't know my fucking business. I don't want this chick to punch me and I fall off the goddamn train and die.
I know.
90 feet into oblivion.
I'm out. I'm not doing
It's
that.
not oblivion. It's the apocalypse.
Yeah. So much better.
Well, that's a lot of D6 of damage. I'm not taking it.
Right.
No, I'll climb up then. If Proust went up, I'll
Yeah.
there.
Like I said, she stands. She nods to you when you walk by. So.
Polite, nod back.
For Proust, it's like he doesn't even see her.
Okay.
It's like she doesn't exist. Like
Sure.
he's not specifically ignoring her. It's literally like she just wasn't there to him.
She's not important enough to notice.
And so Proust begins climbing to the top of the
Climb
rail,
up to the top with him.
and he starts.
If you were to look by, I mean, she's looking up like that, sort of,
And he
Okay.
just stands up and just like obliviously just starts walking down the top of the
So
train car.
it is windy. I mean, obviously, you're standing on top of a train. It's going very fast, and the wind is just
It's moving again?
We did like
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're right.
That's
You're right.
And you said this moves like a magnetic, like a bullet train, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going
But
plot.
it's not that fast.
We're gonna say it's going plot speed. We're gonna say it's going very adventurously fast.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if it's that fast, they're not up there very long before they fucking fall off.
Right. So it's going fast, but it's not like 300 miles an hour bullet train where you have to have like the suction cup and be on the back like some of those crazy kids do. And,
Yeah.
but no, you can absolutely walk back. I mean, like I said, the rail jacks are up there, not currently, but
Yeah, I assume they had like something with their suit that magnetically makes them.
Yeah, they got a
stick.
couple of tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, you guys are. It's the wind is kind of
Trick me, no.
Depends on who it is.
the wind's whipping you, and it's cold. I mean, it's real cold. You kind of bundle your coat up around you. You don't feel like you're going to get knocked off at any moment, but you do sort of. Let's say you see the horrors out there, and it's one thing when there's a pane of glass, which isn't going to do anything, but it feels there's at least something. now there is nothing. And they're
Yeah, Alex is not doing this. So we're on the top of the train.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning into the wind. I've got my valise over my shoulder. I'm holding my coat really, really tight because it's fucking freezing. And I'm trying to make myself appear small because there's demons on all sides of me in darkness. And I'm following a fucking psychopath on a train.
To brighten your soul.
Not a good day. That's
brighten your
not
soul.
good. Not good. He's not a happy man. He's quite grumbly.
You, the guys in the car, you hear thump, thump, thump up above you because you're walking forward, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. You hear thump, thump, thump above you. Timothy kind of like looks up and goes, every
time.
All right.
Okay, so I make my way forward toward the cargo car.
The first class car.
Yeah, the first class cargo car. I am specifically looking for, I don't know if they have its proper name is a reefer car or a refrigerated car.
Sure.
Or if they have like a larder car. I don't know what their setup is, but that's what he's looking for.
No. Perfect time for me to eat an apple.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Comes around, goes around.
All right.
The reefer car.
No, that's what they're properly called.
Right. So there is a sort of a commissary car that doubles as food storage, and there's like a kitchen in it. I don't think like huge restaurant kitchen. It's actually pretty small, and the food that they serve is pretty light, except for the first class has a little bit better amenities. But the first class and second class food is all stored in one. It's just everyone knows which one goes. You guys aren't going to get like the super good stuff. So yeah, there's the car there, and one side of it, it's not like lengthwise, right, with the kitchen. It's just like in the corner of the car. So if you want to get in, you can. You just go on the other side.
Okay. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. All right.
And while I was like kind of halfway down, hanging off the side of the car.
The front. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, come along, Alexander. No time to waste.
I follow.
His words
Dutifully.
His words are cut up by the wind, but you get the gist of it.
All right, I follow him.
All right. He ducks into the car, starts browsing around, sticks a loaf of bread in his own messenger bag, sticks like a wax paper wrapping of meat in your bag. He's basically just raiding the place for food that he like. I mean, as you just stand there, he's just using you like a pack mule.
I'm a bit confused, Doctor. This is theft, yes?
Theft.
And
Oh, no.
You say this in low voices. You hear the kitchen,
Yeah.
it's like 5 feet away from you.
Gotcha.
But you're in the storage area. Obviously, you guys know what you're doing, too.
We are stealing.
Yeah.
We are taking that which does not belong to us. And this
But
is-
we won't keep it.
We're giving it to someone?
Yes.
To whom?
Do you know what the problem is with material distribution?
I don't. I do know the frustration of receiving a question as an answer to my question.
I was waiting for a buddy.
I do know that. But no, I do not know the answer to your question.
You know who Karl Marx is.
There is only so much food on this train. For some cars, there's more food than is needed. For some cars, there is no food at all. Now, which of these people, based on the brightness of their souls, is the most valuable? Which of them are most deserving of the bodies they have?
I can't tell that by looking at someone.
Good, but food is a metaphor. If you have only enough food for 10 people, and yet you give most of it to 3...
I'm going to say, and correct me if I'm wrong here. It's because you guys live the life. You're having this debate. Prouse stops in mid-sentence, and both of you just fade into the shadows as a waiter comes across with food, grabs something, then goes off into first class, and then you guys fade back out and continue right where you paused.
This is a value judgment that's made in ignorance. They give the most food to nourish the bodies that may belong to those that are least deserving of them. Now, it is good that they're taking care of, that they're good stewards of those bodies when a more worthy spirit might find their way in. But in the meantime, we must be sure that all the bodies are kept accordingly so that the right spirits, most deserving spirits, might all have the best possible bodies. It's a cruelty to the spirit done through the body, though perhaps not the same spirit in the same body all at once. Now, imagine, it's a favor. You see, let's say there is a person up in the forward class who is, in fact, a morally, profoundly good person that has a soul that glows very brightly, and perhaps they will die an untimely death, and they would look for a vessel, but perhaps in their ignorance, the vessel that they would have taken has died of malnutrition or of starvation. In the meantime, it would be a terrible tragedy. In the same way, what if someone who's back there dying right now has the brighter soul?
So we have to give
You guys
food.
stop, fade into the shadows, and the waiter kind of comes back, and he's like, he has a tray, and he's looking for something, and he's mumbling, he's like, dinner roll, and Alexander reaches into his valise and slides the pack of dinner rolls onto his tray, and he turns around and goes, and then he goes walking back the way he came, and then you guys come back out.
So we have to feed. We need to make sure that the people in third class have food, in case you need to put someone else's soul in their body, or vice versa.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's go give these people some food, I guess.
So, okay. You guys like sitting there with like stuff in your packs, your pockets, and as soon as he's done, he doesn't totally clean the place out. I mean, he doesn't have enough. So he's not literally a pack mule. He doesn't have enough baggage for that.
And if you took everything, that would raise suspicion too.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, he's basically skimming.
Right.
So, where they have 5, he takes 1. It's,
Exactly.
it's not, he's taking
It's an
everything.
inventory error that will be corrected at the next stop, rather than, okay, everybody empty your pockets.
And so, once that's done, he then, with just no sense of fear, just goes right back outside.
Then you guys go back, continue on. So back in the bar car.
It's got brass balls.
Yeah, I on my character sheet I'm erasing my one corner, and then I go and sit down next to Reggie at the bar. I go, "Where the fuck were you?"
Don't even. Hey, you know what? You didn't fucking listen
They
to
were
what
playing.
I was
They were
saying.
playing right into my hands, and then all of a sudden I
look at the
look up,
bartender.
and you're fucking shit faced.
I'm looking at the bartender glazed, like, can you fucking believe this guy?
He's looking at you and he's like, bartender just pours him one.
I just keep looking.
And I knock it back and
I
sit
keep
down.
looking at Treacle, and I keep like acting like I'm gonna say something, shaking my head. And before I say anything, I just look back at my drink and just take a sip, and I go back again and just let a long fucking sigh.
I should have had Jack do it.
Hey, he's taking a shit or something. I don't know.
He's taking a shit.
Yeah, how much you win?
No, I didn't win. That's the thing.
Yeah, you should have listened to me.
No, when I looked up, you were paying more attention to the damn bartender. No offense.
He's a good guy. What are you talking about? This guy's great. Look at him.
You can stare at him for the rest of the night, or for all I care.
This guy's fucking stacked. I hope I look like this when I'm older.
He kind of gives you a fist bump.
I go with fist bump. Hey, this guy. Hey, who the fuck is Al?
Who? What the fuck did you just say?
What the fuck is Al? I've had a lot to drink.
Yeah, I can tell.
He put some coffee in front of you.
Hey, put a little whiskey in this.
He's like, okay. And he takes the whiskey bottle out, and you're just like this. He looks at you and winks and just kind of does the tap on the side.
I do like a long, like...
You're asking where Alexander went to?
Yeah.
I look back to the table. He's right over there. Where
I'm like adjusting my eyes, like I can't really see that far. Like, oh my god, behind that fat bitch. I say that very loudly.
The bartender's like,
that robust lady.
Number one, that's not a lady.
Oh,
Number two, yes, those are, yeah. But,
yeah, I thought so. That's why. I mean, I look past the mustache. You know, some girls have mustaches. It's not my thing, but you know.
but yeah, he was sitting right over there. Now where'd he go?
I don't fucking know. I thought, wait, has he been in here the whole time? I didn't even notice.
He was sitting over there. He had all his shit. Now I look back. I get up and walk over to where he was sitting.
Callum like walks into the car, and he's got that thing handcuffed to him.
There's his boyfriend. Why don't you fucking ask him? His new best friend or whatever.
It's new.
Known him for like 10 fucking minutes. This fucking jagoff.
Hello, Reggie. How are you?
Yeah,
Need a drink?
yeah, I do need one. Thanks, Callum.
Oh, excellent.
You're gonna have to get it for him because the bartender won't give him anymore.
Yeah, Callum's all right. I give him a lot of shit, but he's okay. It's not his fault. Alex been fucking weird.
Callum looks at you, kind of gives you a wink.
Picture his bartender as Tommy Lister Jr.
Who's that?
In The Dark Knight, you remember the really, really like 9-foot tall prisoners like, give me that detonator.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do
With
what
the
you
left eye.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what you should have did.
Right.
15 minutes. He also played a Debo in Friday.
Yeah, that guy's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he's like supposed to real like
Oh, he's
now.
supposed to- oh, yeah.
He's supposed to be like a really, really nice guy. in
He's
real
like
life.
a sweetheart.
Yeah. But that's who I picture as the bartender. If this was a movie, Debo would be playing.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy
Yeah.
Lister
But-
Jr. would be playing the.
They put him in the that's totally the guy now, and it's like all the kind of outfits that they put him in, they're like 2 sizes too small.
Yeah.
It's just like barely the
If he
buttons are-
breathes too much, it's gonna pop.
Yeah, the button is going to shoot off and kill someone.
Yeah.
So Callum reaches into his coat, takes a little flask out, and goes, oh.
I pull in Callum way too close, and I give him the breathy like, "Thanks, Callum, you're the best."
Yeah, no problem. I hope you enjoy it. Drink up.
I'm so a fucking loser.
That's what I hear. Where's Alex?
We don't. That's what we're.
That's what we're
wondering.
trying to find out.
Oh,
So he's not. He wasn't in with you.
no. He said something about his maps. He's always obsessing about his maps. Drink up.
I take a sip.
You are instantly sober. But everything you
awful.
see has like a blue tinge to it.
Yeah.
And the lights are kind of like a little bit glowier to you. But you are boom, stone cold sober now.
Why did you give me that? What the fuck? The hell is this?
It looks like coffee.
Ain't no coffee I have never fucking had.
Oh, well, who knows what they serve here. So,
What? I drank all that whiskey for nothing.
Did you pay for it?
Yeah.
Are we having to pay for drinks here?
yeah. But
Usually
it's,
pay.
yeah.
More.
Bartender. Snag him up again.
All right. Well, we've got to find Alexander because who knows what he could be doing, or who could be doing him.
I mean, we could do that, but I don't want to leave this fucking car. There's 2 places I'm going. Here and bed. That's
Semna comes in behind you. Like you're talking to Treacle like this, and the bar's over there, and she kind of comes
So
in.
I say,
like,
here and bed. And I like follow her. Like, all right, there's 3 places I might go.
She's right behind him.
yeah. And she motions to the bartender, and he gives her something to drink.
I say, "Pardon me, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is my friend Reggie. He's too shy to say hi to you, but he's a big fan."
Hunk. Oh my god.
Not the biggest fan, but it's nice to meet you.
I'm wiping my hands. I'm like, Oh, it's a pleasure, yeah.
Yeah. She shakes her hand.
I respect what you do so much. You married? I just noticed that,
Married to my
Tim or
job.
whatever, he's married. He brings his
he's not
significant
married.
other. Oh, whatever.
But they're together, yeah.
Sure. You not bring somebody with you?
I'm married to the job, we'll say.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know what to say. He's like
She's
I mean, you've seen him with Mabel.
Right.
He doesn't know how to talk to girls.
He's like not letting her talk, but
Yeah.
he's just like and she's just kind of giving him the
Yes.
what?
And I'll reach into my pack and I'll pull I'll pull her card out and I'll set it down and I'll say, it's from last year, but would you mind? And I kind of motion towards him like she's doing it for him.
Oh, not at all. And she takes a pen out and signs it and hands it to you.
I just say thanks, and I kind of I just hold it, and I'm just like, can I buy a drink or something?
As she's holding a drink, and
you need another one? I mean, it's a long trip.
I'm good.
I tell you what, you hit me up after you finish that one. I'm I'm super not smooth about it at all. Like,
You just keep on working on it. You'll get there one day.
He was talking earlier about maybe signing up and taking the training.
I don't know. He's a little short.
short? My guy's like 6'3".
You're taller than she is.
I'm like,
I go. He's got it where it counts, though.
yeah, you're right. I'm kind of small, I guess. Isn't Tim like fucking short?
No, Tim.
Yeah, I think he was.
Was he short?
Yeah, I thought he was under 6 foot.
Yeah. No, because you were bigger than him. That's what you're going on about. Like, fucking, we could thin this guy down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he plays bigger than his body.
My character doesn't. My fucking.
You know, because you're always looking around the room and you're like trying to hit on this girl. Get
Yeah, I'm not a
drunk, and,
sociable
like,
person.
Yeah, and then you got this like blue weird shit going
Yeah,
on.
well, I'm really freaked out that I'm instantly fucking sober. Like, I
Right.
think anybody would be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
So I've got that happening. I've got this battle-hardened angel next to me. And I'm having to, like, make small talk, which is not his forte.
Yeah. You notice Tim at the end of the bar, like, watching this, and, their eye, not your, her and his eyes kind of meet, and they kind of give it the every fucking trip sort of look.
Right.
God, I can't wait to be somebody.
He comes over, and the bar's not huge, right? I mean, it's drink hard stuff. He comes over, he taps you on the shoulder.
I look back. Oh, yes, sir.
You can just call me Tim. My dad was Sir.
Tim.
So,
Tim.
Yeah, that's his fucking name. I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell's gotten into him.
I didn't mean to overhear earlier, but it's a small car and everything. You're looking for your friend over at the table with all the papers and pens and stuff?
Yeah, have you seen him?
Yeah, right now. And you guys, you guys are going to cross over, right? Or are you going to drop down and go through the...
No, we're going back across the top of the car.
You're going all the way across the top of the cars, but are you going through the top of the cars down to third class, or are you dropping down here and then going into the...
just to make a scene, we can drop down here and go into third class.
Drop down where you came up at.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's the sort of footsteps, and he goes, and he's like, yeah, I think your friend is, and you follow his finger.
I'm looking right at it. So like when you try to point to something with a cat, he's just looking at the finger.
There's your friend, and you see them kind of hop down into that space, into that whatever the hell. I'm sure there is 5 different
the connector.
Yeah, and there's like a little platform sort of thing. I'm sure there's train terminology for it.
It's the scissor vacuum.
No,
Scissor.
no, it's not. You're
It
lying.
is. And
You're
bros can
lying.
scissor.
And then yeah.
Bros can scissor. It's real.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it hurt a lot, but...
Right. So you see them kind of drop down.
I go, oh, thanks, Tim.
No problem.
Come on, gabbing with her.
Why you embarrass me? God damn it.
Callum's like, you don't need Unc to embarrass you.
Yeah, what he said. I just walk towards where they're at. I'm like,
I'm walking away and I'm saying it loud enough to him he can hear that armored fucking pussy. I swear to God, he fucking says that shit.
No, he didn't say it. Callum said that to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he still said that.
And then I still said
So I'm walking towards where they came down. So
And you see Callum, if you like literature, Callum is talking to both of them, and you've spent enough time with Callum to kind of read him a little bit. He's pointing at stuff. They have some of their gear on, like he's pointing so that he's talking shop
right
with them,
and probably distracting them a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, when Proust and Alexander come down, I'm standing there like on the other side, like going, "What are you doing?"
You see a woman there, the same woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's on the outside, you're on the inside, and these two drop down. You see her too. And you see Uncle Treacle there like, what
you doing? I'm saying through the window. What are you doing?
I'm going to open the door and step in.
No, our mission is not quite complete. One moment. Just one more moment.
Unc, maybe we should just leave him alone.
We'll be right back, Unc.
Alex, he needs a space right now.
Close the door.
All right, I look at Alex and give him the, do you need me to save you?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
And then I just go. Then Alex just wipes a tear away from his face, and then another tear from his eye, and then looks very, very forlorn, like he's never coming back. And then he turns around to go with Dr. Proust.
When you turn around, the woman's there. She has one of the cigarettos out. She's like offering it to you.
What is this?
It's a cigarette?
Oh, thank you.
A cigarette?
Do you have a light?
Baby's first cigarette. Thank you very much. And then I linger there waiting for her to provide her name. Thank you very much.
Ciro.
Ciro?
Yes. With a C, not a Z.
No, understood. Well, it was thank you very much.
And your name is?
I'm Alexander. This is my associate, Dr. Proust.
She's not demonic, is she?
I don't know.
I mean, does she have like funky ass eyes?
Oh, is she a Takariosan?
Yeah.
No, she is not a Takariosan.
Well, and also I would know anyways. I have that ghost mind. So if she's a demon, I would instantly know it.
I am going to say that Ghost Mind cannot pick out people who are Takariosan because it's
genetic, not
we're
they're
gonna
not
go,
true demons.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying. Is she a true demon?
No.
Okay, then he might disapprove, but it's not a.
Yeah.
What did we decide last time? Demons they basically make it you see whatever you want to see.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They would be able to hide themselves no matter what.
Yeah. He has an ability that helps him punch through that, but yes.
Right. It's just hard.
Any person here could be a demon in disguise.
Right.
If they wanted to be.
Okay.
So anyway,
just leaving it open for them they may still actually be one.
Right.
So okay,
but she said Ciro with a not a Z, and you're like, and your name is Alex, and Dr. Proust.
Now, does she roll the C, or does she have an accent?
She has a little bit of an accent. She's not. I have character sheet from me. She's not Arcosian for sure. We're gonna say that she's maybe from the Dagger Isles.
All right. Well, then I'll say, please forgive my plebeian inquiry.
She reaches out. She hands you a cigarette.
Proust looks at it with an almost like he's not even sure what it is. Like, I mean, there's no way he doesn't.
Sure, yeah.
That's the look he gives.
Right.
Is like he doesn't understand what this is or why someone would offer it to him.
She kind of like that thing where people can do this only really fast with their finger flip. She kind of like bloop, bloop, bloop. Give it to someone you like.
He takes it from her and says, "Thank you.
You're welcome."
And he tucks it inside of a coat pocket and says, Well, Alexander, we're almost done.
Is treacle?
Yeah, I'm standing on the other side of the door, like watching this, like what in the hell is happening?
I'm not giving him a cigarette unless he comes out.
Ciro, perhaps I can return the favor later and purchase you a drink. Thank you again. But my associate is insistent that my soul be cleansed.
He's easily distracted. I'm guessing you've already noticed what I have, which is that demon over there along the horizons does have the same unusual right eye as the one we saw at the 35th and 14th mile markers. Same one, similar breed, who can say? But we'll come back and discuss this later. For now, we have something else to do.
That's quite impressive that you would have such a knack for detail. I mean, I know you're bright, but I had no idea. Well, after you, Doctor.
He leads you back into the...
As you guys go in, she says, have fun, boys.
The steerage car.
Right.
And he, proused with an unexpected degree of volume, is able to say, "Excuse me for a moment, may I?"
A tomato flies. No. Do free burn!
Oh,
Everyone
I'm
starts playing on fiddles.
Yeah. So he has like a squeeze on.
Fucking accordion.
Squeeze box, right?
Yeah, squeeze by.
I've come to bring you something terribly important, food for the body, which in turn is food for the soul. Tell me, are you lot good at sharing?
There's a couple of people who are like, most people are like, all right, what's the angle? Sort of thing. There's a couple of people who are like, yeah, sure. And then there's a couple of people who are like, what the fuck you doing? I mean, it's a mixed bag back here.
If I feel so, I'm going to put my hands up and try to basically calm the crowd, not to steal Dr. Proust's thunder, but take the spotlight from him, but just trying to get people to calm down. And then when I'm turned away from him and I know Proust isn't paying attention, I'm going to do that thing where you make circles around your ear to indicate that somebody's lost their fucking mind. Especially to like children.
Right.
Yeah, like just let him know that he's a goddamn lunatic and it'll all be over soon. And then maybe give somebody an apple out of my pocket or
And you
whatever. I'm not terribly charismatic, but I did recently open Sway.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm not trying to affect the world with I'm just trying to,
People are, I mean, like I said, it's a mixed bag. People don't exactly know what's going on. But the icebreaker is when you guys actually start handing people food.
Yeah.
And then a couple of them are like, sort of thing, and then somebody tries to hand you money. Because you actually hand them good food, better food than they have. And they're like, okay, well, here's some... And you're just like, I assume...
No, he has that. Proust looks him dead in the eye and says, "Are you wealthy?"
I wouldn't be back here if I was wealthy or healthy.
Then I have no use for your coin. You do. I do not.
I sure do. I could use a drink. That's for... You got any booze in there? But thank you.
Actually, he might have, because of that period of history, if this is Victorian-ish.
Right.
Brandy was considered a diet staple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is possible. It was also considered medicinal in value. Mm-hmm. So it is possible. I mean, it's not like he's a walking liquor cabinet.
No.
But would he have a bottle or two of brandy that he grabbed for purposes that, in his mind, have nothing to do with inebriation?
Yeah, and you could start pouring out, not hand this guy the bottle, because he's going to... But yeah,
open your mouth,
cups.
Kids.
Yeah, people have cups and stuff.
I'll say, as if somebody's constitution started to fail, one of the first things they would do is fetch some brandy.
Well,
so
I will say that everybody is kind of like, what the fuck at first, and then you two kind of like time. But when you hand the food out, that breaks the ice, and then when you start pouring the libations, well, the music kind of starts up, and people start relaxing. They might think you're a little weird. Maybe they think you're charitable too.
Do
these
they appear to be at least? Are they at least vaguely
thankful?
No. Equitable. Like, are they actually sharing the food, or is it like is somebody like tough trying to play the tough? And...
No, if you make it clear that this is to share, like here, this is for your family. Here, share this with your seatmate, sort of thing. Proust would know you have to prompt that. I mean, it's a tough
Oh,
life,
yeah,
right?
so don't forget, he is,
Yeah.
among other things, he actually is a minister.
Absolutely. No, yeah, you say the proper things for
Right.
this culture, and yeah, no, they generally do. No,
Okay. Then, all right. Then
there's probably a couple of toughs in the group, but only a couple, and they would have to beat up you two, and they'd have to beat up everyone.
Yeah.
and
So-
they get handed food. Why?
Yeah, all right. So that's what I was trying to make sure. It's just this wasn't going to turn into some racket. So with that done, Proust turns and takes.
And they're playing. I mean, it's like Titanic, right?
Yeah.
They're playing music. Somebody's got a squeeze. Somebody's got a fiddle. They're playing like Victorian apocalyptic Freebird or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. What do you do with a soulless body? What do you do with a soulless body? So, all right. So
Fill it with a hot load. Fill it with a hot.
All in one day.
Soil its womb with goo.
It's popular children's tune.
So, all right.
It's a nursery rhyme.
With that done, Proust then exits the car with Alexander, says, that demon you were curious about, now we can go discuss it.
When did you first? When did you notice that there were? That it was distinct. That it was that there was that it was like a breed.
Well, it has 4 eyes. Nature and the spirit realm alike seem to love congruity, and yet of its 4 eyes, one, to our right, to its left, is larger than the other 3. Odd, isn't that? I would expect that of a central eye, but not one to the side. Perhaps a defect. Perhaps it serves a distinct purpose.
This thing was a ways off, and you did not see that level of detail. You don't think Proust does lie? In fact, you've never heard Proust lie about anything. You've seen these two lie, like, that's how they talk. But
Right. And I don't want to get too into the weeds, but I mean, is it a
Liar exaggerate. We exaggerate.
right.
yeah, exaggerate, and it's not.
It's
true.
colorful exaggeration.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's usually
It's
Like,
Yes.
did you do this? And you say, no, I did not. That's an exaggeration of the word yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I got yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
You got it.
But for Proust, is it? I mean, obviously, he sincerely believes that he saw this level of detail, right?
Well, I mean, does Alexander believe that?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if that's...
Alex doesn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he doesn't know what to believe with Proust anymore, or with this world, because out of all of the weird things in this world, Proust is one of the most difficult to wrap your head around, for sure.
Well,
So-
and the closest thing you've ever gotten to a straight story on what happened to him from the people that were on the voyage when he snapped was he was staring too deeply into the sea and something stared back.
Right.
And he has never been the same since.
Right, in the ocean is the sea of constellation, right?
Yeah.
Which that's probably
And
that.
you do know Big Garrett's his nephew was going to follow in his foot, not the crazy foot, but the ocean going foot. And when Proust came back, Big Garrett was like, "No."
Dr. Proust, how are you able to make out such detail from such great distance?
No, it just comes naturally to me. It's no more difficult for me than it is for you to have, say, brown hair. It's just your makeup, your composition. This, though, he points at the postulating spore. That's not part of you. We must excise it.
I'm working on that. That is a matter of time. This is a reminder of a debt.
Oh,
So,
perhaps I can help.
how much coin do you have?
Coin? You owe a debt to a demon.
I owe many things to many people, but that is among them. Yes, I have what is most easily described as a financial debt.
He
yes.
leans in real close to you and says, "Then let's kill a demon."
That, forgive the cliche, but is easier said than done.
Not done at all, if not attempted. At some point, I will need you to tell me everything you can about this demon, and we will clear that debt.
Okay. Alex gets real kind of conspiratorial and looks around. Even though there's not really other people around, like he's looking for someone that isn't there who might be eavesdropping, and he's just, okay.
Good. Some tea, perhaps.
I could use something to warm me up. And I swear to God, the brandy here does not have alcohol in it. Actually, I don't think me personally, Brodor, have ever had brandy that has actual alcohol in it.
Really?
I just don't think it's real. I think it's a lie. I think brandy's it's like birds. It's like birds and being drones. All birds are drones.
Brandy
birds,
has a lot of
birds are a lie. Brandy's a lie. There's no alcohol in it. It's a lie.
Where do you get this brandy?
I don't know, man. And I used to drink a lot. So maybe it was me.
The shit I used to like the first drink I ever had, I was probably 12 or something. A friend and I used to just destroy their parents' bottles of brandy and Dr. Pepper. Of all things. You're fucking 12. Like, what the fuck?
Is wasted on the young.
Oh my God, no. We
Yeah, you guys have never been that young and done stupid shit, I'm sure.
Makes
Yeah.
brandy and Dr. Pepper stupid, no.
So,
All right, it was
So
delicious.
we go back into
Well,
the bar car.
okay, so while you guys have this discussion, to rewind a little bit,
Right.
the lady Ciro is standing there, and she goes like, "You are watching them walk through the steerage cargo, and the lady is standing there on the other side of the glass, like,
I look over at her.
I'd like to come in now."
Oh, I'll step to the side.
She-
And I make the after you motion.
Thanks.
Oh, this is the lady that was outside, right?
Yeah. And she kind of like sidles by and looks at you like, "Are you okay?"
I just look at her. I don't say anything to her, and I just kind of I slightly move, but probably not enough for her to get by without forcing her way through.
When she moves past, I'm going to give her the once over of like, okay, so she's obviously kitted out, right, in a light load.
Yeah. Well, obvious to you.
Right.
Just as much as you
Yeah.
are obvious to her.
Right. So she's with a crew. Is there any markings? Does she have any tattoos, anything like that would indicate who she's with?
Let's
Just her
make a
roller skates.
fucking...
Oh, no. Does she look like Heather Graham?
Why don't you make a fortune roll?
No, her
on that?
butthole is not that open.
Do you have any...
Seriously, you could put your whole head in her butt.
Do you have...
All right.
Do you have any major advantages?
I don't think so. No. Other than the fact that I've been sitting there observing her for a little while.
I'd give you that as an advantage.
Okay.
Because that's Trickle's thing.
It's creepy as fuck, Bill Cosby, but yeah.
Well, I didn't give her anything to drink.
Callum gave Reggie something to drink. Do you have any major drawbacks?
Piece of shit.
I'm obviously, watching her. I mean, it's not. I'm not hiding it. I'm like watching her. Like, who the fuck are you with?
Okay, I'm not... I know where you're going with that. In this case, I'm not going to count that as a disadvantage.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll use my insight on this one.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. Oh my god, you're a beast. A beast.
Oh my God.
That's a crit.
Okay. Gonna write something down. This might be one of those instances where I write something down and hand it to him and he instantly says it, which would be cool too.
As long as you get funky
talking?
with a subject and a predicate.
I sat on junior stuff for fucking
I was
like
gonna say.
3 months.
Or he'll take it to this grade. So
Or the grave will come to us.
They're not anywhere the caliber of last game session, by the way. Last game session were gross.
If I caught a whiff of it earlier, which I was like, that smells weird, it was like old woman farts.
Yeah.
you know.
So
She doesn't. Or I'm sorry, it's your hair. You're beautiful. He doesn't. Nobody else does.
Until I turn around, you see the beard.
When she walks past that. Okay.
Yeah, because you're looking at like you see all the stuff that I've already described, so it's nothing new. And then she walks on, and you're about to take her. You see him do the. You're about to take your eyes off her, and then you're like,
Yeah, I do a double take, and then I look at Reggie, and I just give the hand signal for watch that bitch.
Yeah, not the slap her ass, watch that bitch. Like,
I'm already. I don't like how she looked.
And I watched her give smokes to Alex and Proud. Okay.
and then you heard Dio, and then
Right. right.
Yeah, I mean, Alex walks back into the car smoking his cigarello that she gave him.
Holy diver.
Yeah, and he's 5'3" and 6 feet under.
You also know that she's with somebody.
Yeah.
Too. Who in the car. And I'll the same thing.
Okay. I'm waiting for those two jack-offs to come back.
Yeah. After a moment, as those two are leaving, these two jack-offs are coming in.
All right. Are they still smoking that cigar?
Proust
Or the cigarette?
isn't.
Nope,
Because he
Proust
doesn't.
doesn't.
He's about done with his. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come out, I like with 2 fingers grab it. I don't care if I grab the cherry or not. I just grab it and I flick that shit.
What the hell was that for?
I go, you don't know where the fuck that bitch has been. And I'm talking about the cigarette and the person that gave it to you.
What do you... I mean, she just offered me a cigarette. I don't... All right. I'm sorry. You got the look.
Rouse, did you smoke it?
Proust gives you this, like,
I thought you knew me.
yeah,
Do I look like
I can't predict what you do. You still have it?
he reaches into his coat and pulls it out, completely otherwise untouched.
I'm going to assume that you guys, because you're standing right there, huddle up and sit down at the table where Alex is,
he
not to
would.
look in, so conspicuous like you guys are in a scrum and like.
Proust is going to have like some, I don't know, lemon mushroom tea. There's no lemon, it's just this mushroom tastes weirdly like lemons.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We don't really know what lemons taste like. So
But yeah, exactly. It's plausible. So,
all right, I set the you hold it out. I point at the table like put it down.
he puts it down.
Callum comes over and it's not really a big enough table, and he kind of muscles.
I like he gets in and I'd like push him at least a couple inches away from me so he's not touching me.
Uncle, like.
Yeah. I put my arm around him as if like to keep him from moving anymore. All right, I go.
What's going on? You
Yeah.
guys are the least subtle operators I have ever seen.
Oh, we're not operating, not yet.
As I was saying, what's up? It can't be the coffee.
I'm waiting for this motherfucker to shut up.
You ruined my buzz.
All right, I
I'm
point at
not sorry.
I point at the cigarette and I say,
Callum picks it up.
"Don't smoke that." Rouse, do we know anything? What would cause somebody to have 2 shadows?
Two sources of light from 2 different directions.
Shut the fuck up. If
He's not wrong.
Thank you, Alexander.
Of course.
God damn. Just suck each other off already. My God.
Can I make...
if nobody else has 2 shadows,
Can I make
and one person does.
Can I make a
what
resolve
results
check to see if I feel anything
Is
unusual?
that that's up and down, right?
Yeah, because we're on fortune rolls.
What,
right?
what do you mean by 2 shadows?
Well, Proust is
The answer is
basically...
yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Figure out if you have any major advantages or disadvantages.
I stand the cigarello up as if it were a person. I'm holding it like this, and I go, when she walked past me, obviously the light from that fucking lamp right there caused the shadow here, but that she also had another shadow pointing that direction.
That doesn't seem right.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
The main advantage I
You're
give
smoking her
myself
shit.
is whenever he attempts to gather any...
Callum is I'm sorry. Dan.
Okay.
Callum is sitting there, and he's got his finger on his mouth.
You got something to say? Didn't say.
Oh, thank you. You told me to shut the fuck up, so I just paused for a moment.
I didn't.
Dan, what do you?
Okay, I get an automatic bonus die whenever I attempt to gather any information about the supernatural.
Cool.
Straight off the deck. So
What one's that from?
that's part of Ghost Mine. Ghost Mine has
Man,
two
Ghost
parts.
Mines is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's one is he's aware of all supernatural entities, and if it comes to a roll, he always
Did you
gets
just say
plus one.
stupid natural?
I said supernatural.
Supernatural.
Which so I did blur some words together, but fortunately it was not like
Ghost racist?
Yeah. I was about to give an
Racist?
example.
Racist, I'm sorry.
Would have been show ending. So so we'll go with that. So 4.
Your head blows up.
Kick ass.
Your head blows up.
You think it's the head? No, never mind. So 4. That's a mixed outcome, limited effect. What are you wanting? What are you trying to do? You trying to figure out the answer, or
Yeah. Why does she have something like? Is she in like the ghost field? Is she blurred? Are there like 2 souls there? Is there some other? Do I sense? Despite the fact that there's only one physical body, do I sense 2 spiritual presences?
How familiar are you with the cohort? Your guy's cohort. Other than Big Garrett, like do you know them? Do you interact with them, or are they just like
our thugs and such?
your guy? Yeah, like I'm talking.
Well, yeah, at least like 3 of them came from Proust because one of them was converted, one of them was possessed, and I forgot what the third one was.
No, I'm talking.
No,
I'm
he
talking
means
Little Garrett.
characters.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, these
Garrett.
guys.
Yeah, Booker, Little Garrett, Big Garrett, your Proust's nephew, Worth,
Yeah,
and
one
Janny.
Proust's nephew certainly quite a bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't certainly avoid them. He doesn't treat them any differently.
Sure.
But probably not super close.
No, probably not.
Okay. Because I can't really think of like that's the problem with like the soft questions of do I know this or do I not, and it's a mixed outcome. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You either know it or you don't.
I
So
know. It's most times
yeah.
we need a die that has 3 1s and 3 6s.
Right. So that's something I do a lot in Blades, where it's just like I just can't. No, we're not doing it. You spill your coffee on your pants. That's your bad outcome.
Okay.
The good outcome, though, is you remember the cohort, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Specifically, Janny and Little Garrett, because they have something that nobody else does that they use to great effect, and they don't really kind of pump it up a whole lot.
That cloak.
The shadow cloaks.
Yeah.
And
The ones that completely make us near invisible or make us look like a shadow.
you, because you deal with the shadow cloaks, are not spark craft like the robots and stuff.
Right.
They are more on the other end, which in the Venn diagram of a whisper and a leech, that end that's where it blurs over. You don't do much with the spark craft stuff, but that other end of it, where it's more the attuned ghost field technology and your shadow cloaks are more on that end. So you are like
So it's
you don't know what's going on.
It's more technological than supernatural, but it has
But it is very supernatural.
But it has a supernatural.
Yes. They are made, they're
Okay.
manufactured, but they're not metal. And so anyway, what your line of thinking is that you remember the shadow cloaks, and you remember thinking that Little Garrett and Janny, while everyone thinks they're great, kind of, their abilities. Everybody thinks their abilities when they use it
They're good at what they do.
They're good at what they do when they use it. But Proust knows that they don't use them very well at all. Like, it may not be his wheelhouse, but he kind of understands that you could do a lot more with those things. And they just use it to kind of sneak into places. Kind of a waste, really. And so that's kind of like where your mind is at. And then when, Callum and Uncle Treacle has the shut the fuck up moment, Callum is like, well, there are... And then Dr. Frost is like, shadow cloaks. And Callum's like, kind of motions to you.
So they've been. Okay.
Reminiscent of a shadow cloak, I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, it could be. It also could be 2 points of light. You just
Shut.
Would you like me to remove her?
When you say that, what exactly does that mean?
You know, in my former organization, usually that was like, I don't want to know what you mean.
Oh,
It's always better to ask.
I'm learning that.
I hope you don't think that I would do something terrible. I would not harm her. I would simply excise her soul and replace it with someone else's.
You see, that's why we asked.
Wow.
See, that's
Wow,
the
yes.
extreme that it could be. It could have been like take her for a drink or like,
Or throw her
just
off the
throw her
train,
off
or
the, throw her off the fucking train.
Yeah,
But no, he's just gonna extract her soul
no,
and throw
no.
somebody else in.
That
there.
would be a perfect waste of an otherwise fine vessel.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
I mean, I really have no opinion on this matter. I'm curious
Yeah.
where this-
You just kind of learn to live with it.
curious where this train goes.
Alan, you fucking touch me again, you're getting thrown off the train.
You can try.
You got one hand. My whole body's stronger than you.
You can do that?
Oh, yes.
Take him? Possibly.
I've already done it. Dr. Killian is currently rehabilitating my last patient.
I know.
She will need to be taken back for similar rehabilitation, but it will find her.
I can't wait to play this game.
So, if you do this, will they be able to act like nothing's wrong, or is it something where they'll be a completely different person?
They will quite literally be a completely different person in every way that truly matters.
Imagine this train. When it's empty, it's dormant. Now, it always has the same conductor every day, day in, day out, for years. And then one day, we have a different conductor. Same train, just a different driver.
Except the metaphor begins to break apart because the new conductor does not eat the inside of the train out.
Well,
Well,
And it's still on the track. That doesn't make any sense. It still goes to the same place.
And then the train doesn't try to kill everyone in its vicinity as some kind of sick revenge.
What's this, a Stephen King novel?
I don't know. This is like grade school shit. Why are we even talking about this?
Let's put a pin in that, Krause. If we have to come to that, then we'll do it. How about that?
Well, I would say I do not actually deny your methods and their effectiveness. It might cause a commotion. Others would get involved. It would be a whole thing.
Commotion on the locomotion.
I'm hating
That
both
wasn't
of you
good,
right
right.
now. I'm
Is he
hating,
fucking rubbing off on you?
he's rubbing something.
Oh my god. You can almost smell it in the air. Salt.
Smell what?
The salt.
Well, if not extracting her
Does it make you
soul,
uncomfortable?
there are other surgeries I can perform that will extract
Well, maybe later.
information.
See, now there I can get behind that one. You know, inflicting a little, pain to get some information.
Oh no, it would be quite a lot.
Oh, okay. I was trying to downplay it a little bit.
Did you want to come?
No, thank you.
Did you say gum?
He said gum. It's
Oh, okay.
No, I said come.
oh.
Yeah.
I do that every time I offer people gum. I'm like, come.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And of course I said yes.
It wasn't minty. It was not minty.
It wasn't Gusher, though.
It's like chewy sea salt.
I just want to know what their angle is.
Do we know who they are?
You smell tobacco.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
I just said,
No.
you know what? Smoke up, Johnny.
Yeah. This is just tobacco. You can smell it. Not that I mean you can't smell tobacco. Of course you know what tobacco. Of course you know what tobacco smells like. This.
It's Mobaco.
Oh, I can tell you the
Tobacco.
shop it comes from. These are anchors. You know, from Smith's shop down. Yeah.
Is it too late to say no about him coming with us?
Yes.
No.
Dog, I don't have any faith.
I think Proust may have a solution to our problem.
Yeah, you know, this is the first time I've really thought about it, and I think that's a... Proust knows what he's doing. Let's him and Callum meet up somewhere and maybe take care of this fucking idiot. I smack it out of his fucking hands.
That's not a cheap cigarillo.
Oh my god.
So she's just randomly handing out expensive cigarillos.
I mean, this is the same fucking guy that got his hand stuck to a fucking safe.
Okay.
It's a pretty cool power move.
I mean, it's also called politeness, civility.
Okay.
Let
me clue you in.
Alexander, are you feeling dead yet?
No.
Me
No
neither.
more than usual.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
he may have some. I point at my face like,
Something on his face?
yeah, something protecting him. You moron.
Callum leans over with a napkin and kind of wipes some of the ooze off.
Spooge off his face.
Oh, you're not my mother. Stop.
Oh, thank
Stop.
God.
And then I take that napkin that he was using, and then I clean up my face and hand it back to him.
Reggie has this just disgusting, like,
What are we doing here?
what has happened to my best friend? What in the fuck is going on? Reggie's trying his hardest not to make it a big deal because he wants Alexander to have his like time to himself to get over this shit, but it's so hard. It's so hard.
All right, look. See, Callum, there's something I need to clue you in on, all right?
Yes, please.
You were with the Red Sashes before.
I've been kicked out, yes.
Okay. Who fucks with the Red Sashes?
The Crows.
Okay.
Crows are Red Sashes are a major gang. Crows are a major gang. And they have been on and off at war for some time.
All right.
They are currently at a sort of detente, right? There's little skirmishes, but not war in the streets yet.
All right. So, because now that you're down to a different level, people like that are going to do shit like power moves and try and intimidate you or try and get you in their pocket for some bullshit. Okay? So if you take what they give you, you might as well be sucking them off.
I don't think there's anything to suck off on that woman.
I don't think Callum has a problem with that.
Alex, now I rub my
I think
temples.
people should live how they want to live.
I rub my
No, I
temples.
agree.
Can you please
Good
explain to your friend here how
I'm very happy.
we
for
have
you,
to
my
be
best
very,
friend.
very mindful of people trying to intimidate and what's the word I'm looking for?
Manipulate.
Thank you. Yes.
So here's the problem, Callum.
Yes.
Is that when a polite person offers you a cigarette on train, you should immediately be suspicious.
And what did and what was the play here? What would have been the smart play?
You should be the smart play would have been, and Uncle Treacle's right. The smart play would have been, I should have said, "Thank you very much," or I don't smoke, and she said, "Give it to somebody later," whatever, and then do what Proust did, bring it back for analysis. You're right, I should not have smoked it. However, I think you're being just a little bit paranoid.
Actually, I think the problem here is how you said it. Because what you said is when this happens, then you become suspicious. That implies that you're not suspicious all the time. And that is what will get you killed. Those two people, obviously operators, you saw it. You all saw it.
Smooth operator.
Good notice.
Uh-huh.
Good notice on the shadows. I didn't see it. No one else saw it. You caught it. Possibly they have shadow cloaks. They know how to use them, which is not an unknown. Hell, our lowest members have 2 shadow cloaks. They just don't know how to use them. I don't know how to use them. What are they doing here? Well, they're both from the Dagger Isles. That much is obvious by their accent and their look. Surely Reggie noticed.
I fucking sharply look at you. don't fucking like. I don't say anything. It's clear. Like, don't mention that. Like,
and he doesn't look like he doesn't notice. He just obviously, Reggie noticed.
And I give Reggie a hand signal of don't cut his fucking hand off.
The rollers are not from Dagger Isles, or at least maybe they have a couple of members, but they're not like the Red Sashes, which is a Ruvian gang. They're not generally like the Jawbreakers, which is more of an Arcosian gang. So, they don't have any tattoos that we noticed, and they have not talked shit or anything like that. Possibly they're not with the rollers. Maybe they have business in Takarios like we do. But they shouldn't be written off.
Or maybe they're on a score.
Maybe they're on a score. Maybe we're the object of the takedown.
maybe we should be more cautious because we know that there are people trying to fuck us over, and they could be part of that.
I agree, Reggie. That is an excellent observation.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you didn't say that.
I'm just glad you came around to it.
Yeah, well, I thought it was obvious.
Or, and again, this is absolutely insane, but it is possible she was merely being polite.
It is within the realm of possibility.
She could just be a generous person who makes
How
a
often
fun.
people in our line of work are very generous to strangers that are also in the same fucking line of work. Everybody's got an angle.
What were you doing in the back car? And
That's a good fucking question.
And I ask Alexander, but I'm staring at Proust when I say it.
Well,
Why the fuck do you smell like cheese?
Do not ask.
I give the floor to Dr. Proust.
Our good deeds are not something of which we brag, but thank you for your interest. I will help you earn merit of your own.
Basically fucking put you off. That's awesome.
You are doing good deeds by crawling around on top of a fucking...
Yeah.
I don't know what we expected.
All I know is you got probably a couple of lurks watching you do what you just did. Right?
We skimped some food from the first class kitchen car and took
Excellent, Alex.
and we took it to third class and gave it to some hungry people.
Don't let pride replace your other sins.
I'm not trying to be prideful, Doc. I'm just trying to explain to Uncle Treacle what we did so he does not have further concern.
I'm pretty sure the armored assholes knew exactly what you were doing.
Look, we just skimmed. We didn't take anything that's going to be noticed. It'll all get fixed at the next pickup. We just wanted me to, I don't know.
Be polite. Do a good deed.
What's the... All right, smart guy. What's the repercussions of... What if you would have got caught? What would they have done?
Well, as weird as this is going to sound, I don't think whatever it is that is guiding Dr. Proust was going to let us get caught.
Did you hear what you just said?
I did.
That's the scariest fucking thing you've ever said.
You have those situations where you ever just feel like something's just gonna go right, and it does. It just was that. It was just that. It was there was never a moment. In fact, there were two situations where we were almost caught by the same server, and it just went off without a hitch. I can't explain it. It just did.
Are you seriously telling me that the power of positive thought was the reason why this was successful?
No, what I'm saying is that on every score I've ever been on where things went sideways, you could feel an energy in the air before it did, and that didn't happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that if you look at an equation, there was a factor absent.
Let me ask you this, Trico.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want people in your gang that are unable to steal a loaf of bread? Like, do not have the proper skill set nor ability to steal literally unguarded bread and cheese?
I would think people that don't take unnecessary risks in the middle of a mission that has very high risks is probably the better option there.
How much whiskey did you drink?
I can't remember now because some asshole ruined my fucking buzz.
And you did bring up earlier that we do need to sort of be on point and, be suspicious of things.
Yeah, I was fine.
You weren't. Your whiskey drinking gives you an edge.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing what you're saying, Alex. I mean, I've felt that shit too, right? When it feels right, it just feels right, and all the cards just kind of line up, okay? And then sometimes you got some asshole giving you the wrong signals, right? And you lose all your goddamn money.
Are you still seeing blue?
Am I? Oh, did you ask me that?
Yeah, he asked you that.
Yeah, I still see blue.
As weird as it sounds,
What the fuck did you give me?
I trust Proud's
there's this
instincts on
specific
certain
mushroom
things.
that grows.
So if you say that
It's hard to explain.
it felt like the right thing, then maybe it was the right
Frogs
thing.
involved. You really don't want to.
I lean in close, so hopefully Uncle Treacle's the only one that hears me. He's
Yeah,
like,
the two of us are bantering back and forth.
and he's like, I was just trying to work. I was just trying to work. That's it. I've been working on this project for weeks. I'm just trying to get it done. I can't fucking sleep. I'm just trying to focus on work. And he stood there like he does. And I knew until I capitulated and went with him, it wasn't going to stop. So I went with him. And you know what? It wasn't unpleasant.
We don't laugh. We didn't hear it. But yeah.
Well, 6 months ago, I would have thought you're absolutely crazy for doing that. But then we saw what we saw. Sometimes he can see things that we can't see.
And sometimes I'm not sure if he's making it up, and he's still right.
We keep him around for that reason.
Can Proust hear this?
Oh, but I would assume so.
Yeah.
He's fairly quiet and attentive. I mean, at this point, I'm not role playing for lack of ideas. It's this is what Proust would do.
Yeah.
It's, because to him he sees virtue budding,
Right,
and he's
yeah.
not going to get in the way of that.
Yeah, I imagine he's just kind of like listening and
Yeah.
kind of has a smile on
You
his
don't
face.
pull on the top of a rose to make it grow faster.
Right.
It's that sort of thing.
So, and in this process, Alex, he's looking at Alex. Treacle's looking at Alex, but then every once in a while he looks up at Proust and gives him a nod.
I mouthed to Uncle Treacle that he's fucking nuts. He's nuts.
There's no doubt about that. And I say that out loud. There's no doubt about that. But there's something else to it that I haven't quite decided yet.
But strangely, it's never made me feel in danger. Uncomfortable, annoyed, but never in danger.
You know what my old dad used to say is if you're never going to grow if you're going to stay comfortable all the damn time. You got to step outside your comfort. Maybe that's what this is all about. We weren't going anywhere. Now look at us.
It's true. We needed a kick in the ass. One eerie, creepy, crazy kick in the ass.
But next time some operator offers you some free shit before you go and do something altruistic, just say no.
Right, got it. So the next time a moderately attractive woman, which is a very rare kind of woman to be nice to me or take notice of me, offers me free tobacco or alcohol or food, I should tell her no, which is exactly the opposite of actually what I'm going to do.
Alexander, is your father figure telling you he doesn't want you smoking?
My father figure is telling me that he doesn't want me making stupid mistakes and getting myself poisoned by taking somebody else's poisoned cigar on this trip when we know that we have enemies that may or may not be aware of where we're going or what we're doing, especially since we saw rollers on the other train.
I think I can settle.
Oh my god, was that so hard? Was that so hard to beat into everybody's fucking skull?
I think I can solve this little dispute with a simple.
Does Uncle
Lesson.
Treacle understand how much poison you and I have on our person at this moment?
No.
Okay. We don't have any.
Are you sipping it?
I can.
Alexander.
Would you like to see some?
Yes,
I think you already gave me some.
Go back a car to those people that we just ministered to and describe the woman and tell them that she may be a threat to you and to the parson that accompanies you, and you would appreciate it if they would keep an eye out for her.
See, that's smart.
You will find that love drives people in a way that even terror and greed do not.
And if you do that, a lot of innocent people might get killed. Imagine the same situation and somebody did that and said that about Reggie. And they rose up and attacked him. He would slaughter them all.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Nah, maybe not all of them. Maybe a couple.
I wouldn't.
Maybe the children.
wouldn't
You can
kill them.
definitely
Alex
handle the
sits back
children
and he-
the old women. Too.
He primps up his collar and he gets very big on his side of the table, and he does his best Dr. Prouse, which is not very good, and he says, but Kellum, that would be operating under the assumption that there are innocent people.
Very true.
Reggie just like Reggie puts his hands on the table, he scoots back, and he fucking walks away.
Right.
Callum kind of scoots over.
Just like I did tonight, waiting down here
Yeah.
in a luxurious lane.
And Reggie walks off. I go, go check on your shitting brother.
Yeah, whatever. I just as long as I don't have to do this bullshit.
Wacka wacka.
You all right in there?
No.
As he's leaving, I stand up. No soul is innocent, Reggie.
The whole car looks back at you.
No, so
Synchronized, raised eyebrows. A couple of people get up and leave.
I look to the bartenders I walk by and cut him off.
He nods. There's a clanging sound and like an alarm, which you have if you have not ridden on a train before, you have been at least briefed about it. Is that the train is under attack, and the railjacks kind of put their shit down, helmet on, and they tromp past you guys out the door, and they're.
And we all take our glasses and go on the table. As they go.
Old drinking songs start to fucking happen.
Go, go, go.
So, obviously, there's not like an observation port. That there's not like a bubble dome on the top of the car.
We're gonna just see flashes of like phasmic lightning and shit
I mean,
off the sides.
like you hear the stomping up, you
So-
hear like a roar.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah,
train is still moving.
yeah, full speed.
Oh, go, Callum.
Go.
3 innocent people are about to risk their lives for you.
Oh, and I love it. That's excellent. I wish it was 4 innocent people risking their lives for me.
I'm back at the bar, and I've been trying to drink this whole time, but I'm assuming like whatever you gave me prevents me from getting drunk too. So I'm just like,
Yeah, until it like wears off.
oh.
And then it all hits you at once.
Then
Your
it's
liver
Then I start
explodes.
gradually getting drunk out of nowhere. Like, oh my god.
Then it's waka waka time.
Oh my god! And got alcohol enema.
No, I like that. I like that you start getting drunk at a bad time. It's going to be a good, bad consequence for you to have on the score.
fermentation
What the fuck did he
disorder.
give me? And I'm just like pounding drinks.
Right,
Like, God, just
nothing.
Give me the strong shit. He's
Yeah.
bringing out like
Look,
pure alcohol that can
this says, do not drink.
do not
Right.
drink.
Rubbing alcohol. Do not drink.
Highly flammable. There's like skull and crossbones on it and shit.
210 proof.
Good
Right.
God.
I'm drinking a fucking Aquanet.
Oh,
I like the taste.
You gotta set this on fire before you drink it. It'll kill you. You're like, fuck that.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing.
you
The,
kidding
the,
me?
the blue gets a little bit more bluish, and the sort of like lights get a little bit more rider, like not huge, not like oh fuck, but it's just
just intensifies.
Yeah.
I'm getting from the table, and I go from window to window. Can I see the rail jacks out there?
No, so they're on the. There is a fight going on.
Yes.
You can hear it as it travels back and forth. Because the tracks are raised, and you can even see it like on the map.
Yeah.
They're straight shots. They're not going around cities and that sort of thing. So there's not going to be a turn where you kind of see them.
No, but I meant I don't know if at any point the fight went over the sides of the train or.
I mean, if it gets real intense, if you're in the right place at the right time, you'll see like blue lightning, and you'll see an electrophasmic explosion, and you'll hear screams and growls. You might see some sort of horrible monster flop off in front of you and that sort of thing. Guys like him are like at the window, they're trying to look
No. Oh no, it's bad luck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people
we talked about that. Yeah.
People in the know just sit at the tables and just rhythmically tap their mugs on the, like to give them moral support. But it's bad luck to actually watch the fight because when you start gawking, that's when motherfuckers get killed.
Yep. So, if you were to walk from one end of the train to the other, the first class has one or two people doing that, and it's just more of a, they're trying, they're fans, but they're trying not to show it, and or maybe they have a teacup and go, ting, ting, that's excellent, sort of thing.
Fucking posers.
Here, there's him, and there's a couple others in this car who are doing it, and no shame, but not everyone's doing it. You go back to steerage, it's like they stopped playing music, and they're, I wouldn't say it is 100%, but there's a lot of them. Especially all the kids are back there and stuff, and they're getting into it. So. But can you see them fight? You could if you wanted, and it is a sort of you take your life in your own hands. You can go up on the deck on the roof if you want and just watch the whole thing. It's a little dangerous.
I don't think the danger would bother Kraus. I think it's more.
You don't want to get in the way either.
Well, even more than that, it's more of kind of a. Be all things unto all men, and if to them it's bad luck for somebody to observe the fight.
Well,
but then
the fans have communicated that,
right? But so it's
it's more like a superstition.
Really. Well, that's the thing. And I
was gonna say it's like a hockey superstition.
I don't think, and I think Prowse would see it as such, but I think it would be out of respect, out of the sort of weird respect for that culture. He wouldn't. Yeah. Even though he himself doesn't buy into that particular insanity, I don't think he would do it out of respect for the people that do have that sort of culture. So I think for that reason alone, he wouldn't do anything.
Do you go outside? Again, not on the in the. I wish I knew what that. I know. I bet it has a name, but whatever that thing is, that space between the cars.
We call it the speculum.
How about the taint?
Because it taint inside and taint outside. Yeah. So you go to the
coupling point, right?
Yeah, the coupling point, but where
the actual platform.
Yeah, there's going to be a little platform and stuff that you can walk on because it is made to carry people between. So and you don't want kids hopping.
Well, actually, if this one's straight. It would just be a flat surface because this doesn't have to turn.
There are going to be bins, but they're not. They're going to be long bins, graceful long curves and stuff. But
so basically straight.
Basically,
it's just called a gangway.
A gangway. Okay.
It's just called a gangway.
Okay. Cool. So the gangway. Okay. What's everyone doing?
It is also less commonly called the vestibule, which is also a term for a church. But it's the gangway is apparently the most common name for it.
So, what's Uncle Treacle? You said you're sitting there.
I'm doing the rhythmic tapping of the mug and probably humming some sort of a.
There's sea shanties. That's the theme for this game.
Yeah, so there's a shanty that you sing when the rail jacks are saving your ass.
Right.
Yeah. And you inject their names if you know them, so that way they can hear you chanting.
And we hear that. We the players hear that, and it's like, okay, that's a little weird. It's actually not treated as weird, in this society. It's as weird.
That
as
was pretty normal, even World War II and stuff. They had songs. And
It would be as weird as non-baseball fans going to a baseball game, and the organ like dun 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 dun. Yeah, like.
Well, as Americans, we're like the only ones that didn't keep any of those fight songs. Like,
Right.
Other countries still have them and use them today.
Oh yeah, like soccer stadiums and
Brits,
stuff. Oh, my God.
they all have all those old tunes. They still sing in pubs and bars and stuff.
Yep. What's Alexander doing?
So the fight is occurring, yes?
Yeah.
Right. So it's too loud to get any work done, and I'm just going to go back to the room.
Okay.
And,
Well, there's a fight happening.
yeah. Right. Well, I mean, what am I going to do, right? So I can sit here with my butthole puckered, my fingers crossed, and hope that I don't die, or I can go back to my room and hope that I don't die in the privacy of my own room, which is exactly what the fuck I'm going to do.
And Callum's like, going to the room to do some work?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I'll leave you to it. And he takes out a newspaper, and it's not in, we'll say English. It's obviously not going to be English. It's going to be the common language, the Arcosian.
Common speak.
Yeah, it's not an Arcosian. It's in Aruvian. It's an Aruvian newspaper. And he takes it out, and he starts flipping through it. Oh, when you walk by the bar, can you have them send over a coffee and 2 shots of whiskey?
Coffee and 2 shots of whiskey will do. So I'll say that to the bartender on my way out.
Thank you. What's Proust doing? Is he still sitting at the table?
Yeah, I think at this point he's blanking out from the material world.
Sure.
Because in his mind, if
Proust
these people lose, he's the next best hope.
Proust can. Well, I don't. No, I was gonna say you can. You can't. You don't do an out of body thing.
Right,
you can't see through stuff through the ghost, but you can probably sense what's going on.
He just feels the presence.
You can put on your spirit mask and really kind of feel what's up.
So I think that's sort of what he's doing. Is he's just blanking out of the physical world.
Does he put on a spirit mask?
No, because I don't think he want to be that overt yet. He probably has it nearby.
Sure.
But because there's simple knowledge that these people fail, he's probably the last best line of defense this train has against some kind of demonic or disembodied ghost or whatever
it has happened where the railjacks fail. I mean, it's a dangerous job and they don't live long, and trains have been lost and people have been lost. That's tragic. It isn't super common. Otherwise, no one would ride on trains, right? They would just kind of shoot them down the track with cargo or whatever. But no, they really do. The railjacks are like the best of the best. I mean, it's like the Top Gun thing, right?
Oh, sure. If they weren't at least somewhat capable of their job, they wouldn't still be alive to do it.
Right.
And so it's not that Proust has no faith in them. It's just more...
And according to Uncle Treacle, who seems to know this shit, that Flint guy, according to him, is number 1. But you don't know if that's just...
Yeah, but that's based on a baseball card, not on... observed, not on anything he's actually observed.
These are statistics.
So, and Proust just says nothing to argue with you or dissuade you.
Oh, no.
It's just,
Callum's like, is he really number 1?
Yes.
Or do you just really like him?
No, he's really number 1. Look at the statistics, and I'll show you the card.
I mean, you could put anything on the card. I mean, look at this. He holds up his Aruvian newspaper. He's like, half of this is lies.
So why do you read it?
Well...
I know, there.
Yeah. I read it because the lies they tell is information in and of itself. Back home is a very complex situation. You know, Ruvia is like very political. Like Arcosia, Dustwall, it's all about the Emperor and power down and nobles, and then when it gets to you guys, there's certain political stuff that happens between nobles, but then it's the law of the street down from there. And Colin's like, it's very complex back home.
All right. I point at the card. This is very simple.
Okay.
This is the number of trips he's made, the number of kills.
It's a lot of kills.
It is. So, all of this, it points to the paper.
Oh, sorry.
All of this is bullshit. This is real. These people are real. I just watched him. I shook his hand. All this other shit doesn't mean nothing. Politics.
Yeah, it's true.
These people save lives.
I'm surprised you're calling out politics when your character is based on politics. Period. Like everything you have is political,
Right.
in some way.
He's like, that's true. And the rail jacks are provided by it's the Railroad Guild. They're not called that. I forget what they're called. But it's this actual faction in the game. But he says it. And, and they're Arcosian. The rail lines are all provided by Duskwall. Mm-hmm. And they all come to Carios. They come to Ruvia. They even come to the Dagger Isles.
Mm-hmm.
They go all over. All provided by politics.
You can keep trying to shine it up. It's still going to mean nothing. It's not going to take anything away from these guys.
No.
And gals.
Nor would I want to. I mean, obviously they're protecting us. The trains could, even if we didn't have anyone at all on the trains, we would still have to have railjacks on them.
You see, and I lean in a little closer and say, people need celebrity. They need someone that they can put a face to something so they're not so scared in the dark.
Someone that can beat back the horror.
Exactly.
And show our dominance over it.
Right. And then if you're thinking about it from a political angle, other places are now dependent on
Duskwall.
On Duskwall.
There's a reason why Duskwall is the largest city and has the most power and the most everything.
So let the people, and I point at the card, have their heroes.
Absolutely. And he they bring over glasses. He takes one of the shot glasses and puts it in front of you, and he holds up the other one.
And Treacle covers up his card so he doesn't get anything on it.
To heroes.
Heroes.
And he takes the Treacle take a drink.
I'll take a drink.
Don't worry, I was just being polite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's everyone else going to do? If nothing much, I am going to take us back to where we started up this evening.
I'm great with going back to where we started.
Yeah, first one.
Okay, cool. So, how we're going to set it up is basically it's been a day or so. You guys have been in and out of the car. You talk to people and stuff. Generally, the two operators, we'll call them, have generally been keeping to themselves, but they don't hide. They're not like hiding away. It's like, oh, where did they go? I don't see. Always someone kind of looking at them. And you guys have probably set up a thing where you're not like spying on them necessarily, but it's just like, all right, make sure nobody loses sight of them.
Right.
And it's a train, and you guys pretty much operate out of like 2 or 3 cars anyway, so
right, it's not hard to keep an eye on.
Right. And obviously the battle was successful from the attack, and what's her name? Too many note cards. Who decided to do note cards? Was it
Ice Blonde?
Yeah, Ice Blonde and Flint. They kind of regale stories and stuff. Flint goes down to steerage and starts kind of regaling stories to, especially for the kids and stuff. And Ice Blonde is, talking to you guys stuff. And then you do notice there's a point where it's like they kind of like look at each other and they both roll their eyes when he comes back up, and then they head to first class, so they have to make an appearance.
They have to appeal to the betters.
Right, yeah, people paid their money for a ticket and they expect certain amenities out of the higher price, and this is, you get to meet the quarterback of the game, so to speak. So that's where they're going, and so they do that, and time kind of goes on. Nothing of interest comes up except, of course, Jack's unending stream of feces just rolling out of his mouth. Just constant, nonstop.
Just got a hatch in the bottom. We're just trailing it.
Yeah, you can see the bottom of the train. It's just a brown streak.
Right. All the demons and ghosts and monsters along the way are like filing complaints about how much.
So what's attracting them?
Yeah, yeah.
Nurgle stock is up a bit.
Yeah. It's like all the good demons are going away, but the gross ass demons and goblins and shit are climbing the thing. Like, oh yeah, give me that. Give me that chocolate sauce. So, anyway, the train begins to slow. Like it's not supposed to slow.
Yeah,
So,
until we get to the midpoint, right?
until you get to the midpoint.
Okay.
And
so this is no bueno.
So
we're a little premature.
Sorry, I'm young.
Not a problem.
Rather than having you guys roll for do you notice this? This is going to be one that I'm just going to tell you. You notice that you are now over the water. You've crossed over the water, and not long after crossing over the water is when the train began to slow. Proust and Uncle Treacle are having lunch in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie, you are at your state. You have taken over that table.
Right.
It's your table now.
Right.
No one sits there. You actually just leave your shit there.
Oh,
That's kick-ass.
Proust is there all the time.
Yeah.
God damn it! Stop it! Oh my god! I'm gonna build a treehouse and no Proust allowed.
He's not being disruptive.
Yeah, he usually doesn't even
mess with
say
the
anything.
stuff, Yeah.
He just sits there, looks out the window, and draws the demons he sees or thinks he sees.
Well, that's even creepier
Right, and
than being annoying.
he'll bring you a sandwich every now and again because you're
very-
not eating.
He's very polite, and I appreciate his company and him being kind.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're working in silence.
Right. Reggie and Callum got into an argument over nothing. Either Reggie was needling him or Callum was needling Reggie.
was probably the other way
both.
around,
Yeah,
right?
it was probably both. And
Yeah.
so Callum is in the berth, reading his one newspaper because he's read for the 15th time. And Reggie is out, like, you had already had the argument. You've come back. You're either going, and I don't know what your character is going to do. You're either going to apologize or you're coming back to give him a piece of your mind. Whatever. And when you're headed toward the berth, you see this woman that you have not seen before.
The entire time we've been on.
The entire time you've been on the thing.
Okay.
And she is dressed like the other two. Like as an operator. In fact, it's not a uniform, but like you guys don't dress like the Red Sashes.
This is after we've slowed down. Are we stopped or are we slowed
No, you guys are slowing down. This is the point where, Alexander's looking up and going, something change? And,
I'm like in the middle of my soup.
yeah, you're like, what is going on? And this woman is just leaning against the door of Alexander and Callum's berth. And she is, like I said, she's rigged up.
Is she, because they kind of were just around, does she look more ready than she was before, like than they did before?
No, she looks about the same. She's just leaning, she's literally leaning against the door, not even the door frame, she's literally leaning against the door smoking a cigarette. And she looks at you, and she kind of raises her eye.
Hey,
Hi.
So, girl.
they say something about us slowing down?
I don't know anything about it.
You sure about that?
Cigarella? She hands you one. She holds one out.
Oh, thanks. I throw it over the side.
Wow, that's rude.
Fuck you. I just walked out.
Do you push her aside to go into the berth or just walk past?
Well, let's say I walk through, or if I have to. Is she in the way?
She is literally leaning on the closed door.
Oh, then yeah, I pushed her to the side.
You pushed her aside? Okay. You push her to the side, and
Yeah,
you kind of muscle your way through, and you open the door, and as you open the door, you see Ciro holding Callum, and he's unconscious. He's got blood on his face, and he's got the case handcuffed to him.
Yeah.
And she is standing in the doorway, and she has him by the scruff of his neck. No, I'm sorry, not standing in the doorway. She's standing in the window.
Yeah, so that basically the girl
And
that's
she's-
standing in the way is blocking that until I move her.
Mm-hmm. And you see, and I don't know if Reggie registers this or not, you see a shadow underneath Reggie, underneath you, reaching all the way up to her, where she's looking out the window, or she's literally standing out the window like some 30s action thing, right?
Yeah.
Holding Callum. She lets go of, she kind of does this with Callum, and Callum goes whoop out the window. She doesn't throw him, and it looks like a cable went, and you're about to, do something, say something, and she flips backwards into the room, and backflips into the shadow and vanishes, and the shadow goes like this.
So,
and you are now on the score.
Reggie is familiar with, and we'd already talked about it, and he is familiar with
Yes.
those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I have any way to track.
All of this happens.
I do have hunts.
You are now in a controlled situation.
So
No one is shooting at you.
Callum
Is gone.
is gone, like
And the case with
in the
the
case.
Mm-hmm. And this shadow just whoop, and you turn around, look at the room, and you see the other woman kind of like go into the vestibule. The gangway towards first. Well, you said, well, that's the direction she's going. And she has two shadows behind her.
Would we have like a code word for like shit's hit the fan?
Yeah, it's shit hits the fan.
Yeah, but like
or a whistle.
Yeah.
I do like a really loud piercing whistle, and it's like
Yeah. Like
it's not just like it's something
Right, it's
unique.
very distinct.
Yeah, you wouldn't confuse it, and it's
Right.
it's
Yeah,
an
you
oh
did the-
shit thing.
yeah, you did
It's
that.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you guys hear that in the car where you're at.
Shit.
And it came from where the sleeping cars were.
And you hear thump 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 up above you.
All right, I get up and I run in the direction of the thump 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 above us. So if they're running,
They're running to we'll say first class, third class. Those are our directions.
Right.
They don't mean anything, but that's just our
Right.
directions. They are running towards third class,
all right, then I too am running toward third
which
class.
is right out the door for you because you're at the end. Yeah.
So then I'm going to go out the door,
Mhm.
right? And then I want to try to go. I mean, I don't want to try to do too much, but essentially, my intention is to get on the roof to track whoever's running,
Absolutely.
so I can be on the roof with them. Is my plan.
All right.
and when he was sucked at, like because you said he got sucked out a window.
Yeah.
Did he
looked
like
there was
go up.
Yeah, he went up. He
Okay,
didn't
then
go
I'd probably
out
climb
into.
up.
Yeah.
I would climb up then.
And you thought you saw like a cable or
Mhm.
something. Like I
Yeah.
said, she didn't toss him with one arm.
Right.
So
He was zip lined out.
yeah, pretty much. But okay, so you are going where? Out the window or?
Since I'm on the platform, I just
Yeah.
go up.
Okay, you go up. What are you two doing? These two are getting shot at, but you don't know that yet. So
I hear the whistle, so I mean the whistle means shit's on. So that I'm gonna go in the direction of where I heard the whistle.
okay, you do that, and this is the super double red alert sort of whistle. So you're like knocking people over. A table gets knocked over. You charge through. You get there so fast. You see him on the other side towards first class, out the door onto the gangway, and then you see him like going to scuttle up, and you're hearing bump, 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 bump above you. What's Prowse doing?
Okay, so are they running upward toward first class or backward toward third class?
He is running towards first class.
No, I mean the footsteps on the roof.
It's actually all over the place.
It's all over the place. Then I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to go toward the back of the train and then up.
Towards third class?
Yes, and then up.
Okay. So basically you follow Alexander out the door. Alexander shimmies up the ladder. You are shimmying up the ladder. Both of you take we'll say a level 2 harm
Ow.
and everybody hears pop pop, just gunshots go off.
Oh no! I don't want to take any
So
arms.
before we start, we're not going to make a fortune roll because I'm starting you in control, right? Because no one was shooting at you until now.
Yeah, would it be crazy to have armor on?
No, like I said.
Oh yeah, we basically decide if we have armor after we get it.
Yep. So now what we do is we decide what is your guys' load.
I wouldn't have brought a heavy on this because it was supposed to be all sneaky sort of. But I definitely would have brought a normal one.
It is completely up to you guys. If you have a heavy, medium, or light load, you guys sleep in your armor. So it's the old D&D question: do you sleep in your
light load is the thing that makes most sense for Alexander.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I'm incapable of having.
Right.
I just not at this moment.
Because for Alexander, it's gear. It's like gadgets and gears and poison stuff.
I would consider normal a light load for my class.
I'm going to be light load.
I'm going normal.
Okay. So yeah, mark that tick.
It is that.
So
both of you take a harm now. So what that means is that you can either tell me that I'm mistaken and wrong about it and do the stress thing, or you can say, well, it hits your arm or whatever. And I mean, it's all resources, right? So
How much stress would that take? How does that work again?
Okay, so what you do is you take, and don't mark it down, you take 6 stress, so it's virtual stress. And then you roll, it's a resistance roll.
Right.
So the GM sets the consequence for the situation. You may suffer one, some, or all the listed consequences. You may attempt to avoid or reduce the consequences with a resistance roll. Resistance roll is 1d for each attribute dot. You avoid or reduce the consequences and take 6 stress minus your highest die result. And if you crit, you clear it. So basically so now we are horizontal. So you just got, you didn't get shot at, you got shot.
Yeah.
And if you say, I'm going to resist that, you're telling me, am I, gutting it out? Am I dodging it? Am I...
Yeah, I'm going to say, because shit has hit the fan and it's a serious situation, maybe I was prepared to at least be attacked.
Sure.
Maybe I dodged at the last second.
Okay.
And just skimmed me.
So what does a dodge look like for you? That could be...
I think skirmish, maybe? I mean, that's my highest. I feel like that's naming it, but that's also...
So a skirmish,
the same
you
as...
skirmish with an opponent in close combat, assault, you hold a position, you brawl or wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a disadvantage of Reggie, is that he's a big guy.
He's a big guy. So maybe finesse.
Yeah.
Which I would have
do that.
1. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hey!
Boom! So you take 1 stress. So he rolled a 5.
Nice.
So you take 6 stress.
Yeah.
But you subtract 5 from, so you take 1 stress to it.
Okay.
Perfect. Alexander.
So it grazes me.
Yeah, you got it. And you don't even notice. I mean, you notice that somebody...
Too much adrenaline.
Yeah, somebody's shooting at you.
Yeah.
And you're still seeing a little blue anyways.
Oh my fucking god.
My case would be, my best would be study. That when we were out here earlier, doing the whole train thing, and we climbed up, and I had an idea, so I've got to, sort of optimize my dodge.
You're going up, you see the gun leveled at you, and you're kind of lifting up and diving behind the storage box.
Gotcha. That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh no! So I still take 4 stress.
Okay, so
that's a big deal.
So that's the thing too, is that it doesn't happen. Right, you don't actually get shot, but you do take 4 stress. That's,
As I see the gun barrel, and I jump, basically torque my body down to avoid getting shot.
You kind of wrench your back.
Right. Man, I hate that.
Yeah.
Once you fuck your back up once, it's ruined.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Anyway. Yep. Okay. So you guys, I assume you're scrambling for the cover of a box or going, or charging like a mad bull.
That's a success.
No. You only mark XP if you are in a desperate position.
Oh, that's right. We're in the.
Yeah, you guys are controlled.
Yeah, we're in control.
But we can change it to desperate anytime we want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Uncle Treacle, you're charging through. Where are you doing?
Right. I'm just moving people out of the way. I see Reggie go up. And is he a car away, or is he just like?
No, so you went from the bar car to the birth car,
Right.
And you are at the one end of the birth car. He's at the other, and he just scrambled up. So basically, you just got to race across the birth car if you want to catch up to him. And in doing so, you'll also see. You'll probably glance over at the open door and see Alexander and Callum's room, and how there's a little bit of blood, and a window's open, and.
Okay. And I can hear,
And he's gone.
And I can hear running on top.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to keep going through the car.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just going to stay inside the car until I get either all the way to the end or something else happens.
Yeah. And you guys both of you and Proust heard shots pop, and you're closer. You probably there was a spang and a spark as the bullet hit and spun off. So you're through the door. What are you doing?
This is the Deadlands. I'm going to assume there are ghosts out there.
No, not a one.
Not one.
Actually,
Okay.
it's not. You might have a problem. You aren't in the Deadlands. You're over the ocean.
Over the ocean.
Ooh. So
Okay, let me
if
just.
you want to summon a ghost, you can. I'm going to make it really hard. But you're right. If we were over the Deadlands, yeah, I wouldn't even have you roll, to be honest with you.
Well, let me start with the ghost mine then. Before I pick an action, can I just feel, is there a ghost nearby?
Yes, I won't make you roll unless you want to. I'm going to tell you straight up no. I mean,
No,
it is
okay.
it's track. It's not like you're on the beach. You're over a lot of water.
Okay.
But the ghost field is a weird place, right?
Yeah,
so I mean, you
yeah,
could
yeah.
reach down deep and pull one in if you want. So
It'd just be hard.
it'd be difficult. Yeah.
Okay, a setting question. Now, obviously, the Railjacks deal with, like, demon monsters attacking the train.
Demons and ghosts.
Do they deal with this? I mean, like, general security issues?
You're about to find out.
Because that's... I don't know in terms of, well, he doesn't have a background in the rail, so I don't know if that would really be his thing.
So people screwing around the roof, probably not. They might go things like, what the fuck are you kids doing? Shots are popping off. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're probably going to take an interest.
So can Proust go basically shimmy using those like handrails along the side of the car? I'm trying to see, not instead of going up, I'm going to go laterally and try to see, do I see like somebody scuffling up on top?
That is exceedingly dangerous, and I absolutely love it. That is the kind of desperate, criminal, crazy move I expect from all of you.
So yeah, that's what I'm going to do then.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you are. Look at these guys using ladders.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. All right. So let's see. The lightning hook. Does it actually have the shape of a hook?
I think it's described as I have described it in the past as like a collapsible baton, only a little longer. It has like a little lightning thing, and you kind of like whoosh, whoosh, and hit a ghost and pull them into the thing.
So it's not a physical hook. Okay.
Yeah, and I've had whispers before ask me, what happens if I hit somebody in the face with them? And I'm like, well, it's an electrically charged baton. What do you think happens? It fucking sucks.
No, okay, yeah. So he'll have that somewhat ready. And I was debating whether he was going to actually.
Now, are you going to like hook a sword of a person? No, but yeah, you're going to.
No. Because I didn't know if it was
They might
like
see
a
God
shepherd's,
for a minute.
shepherd's crook that. Well, no, I was more trying to figure out like could he use it in addition to a weapon also to physically hook the side of.
You're a criminal. Do you have a rope and grapple hook? Might be a little weird, but
Goddamn grapple gun.
I know, right?
Oh, screw that! He can use his own belt.
Sure.
I mean, just
Oh my God! You're hanging off the side of a train. You're like, what do I do?
Yep.
Woo-woo. Yes.
just put my own belt over it and just rebuckle it over my wrist
yeah.
and use that just as a
Yeah.
So can I give myself an extra D for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is not a fortune roll.
No,
So
I know this is a.
This is going to be
It
a
was like a prowl or study check.
right. No, so you don't like have an advantage to give yourself.
Okay,
a
so
thing.
okay.
You use the mechanic of you do 1d for each action rating, plus 1d if someone wants to assist you, plus 1d if you push yourself or make a devil's bargain. So, now you're using the resources.
Okay, so I'm just going to go with a regular prowl check.
Mhm.
Wow, it did not go well. 2.
Well, okay. It's controlled. You falter, or you press on by seizing a risky opportunity, or you withdraw. Basically, like you could say,
I will withdraw.
Withdraw. You can push it to a risky. If you push it to a risky, you're out there. You're doing it.
What's my problems though? Push it to a risky because this is a bit early.
No. The because it's controlled, the problem is going to risky.
Okay.
And you falter, right?
That's fine. I'll take that. I'll push it to risky and I'll falter a little.
Remember, when it goes to risky, it goes to risky for everyone. Mm-hmm. And I don't think these guys have a problem with it. But...
Okay, so all right, then I'll push it. So I'll falter a little bit. So my feet slip, but I've got that belt there, so I'm holding by the belt. Get my feet up there. Don't move much this action.
So and here's what happens. So you do that slipping. Reggie, you're coming up over, and just by the way everything's moving and the angles and stuff, fucking Proust is doing Spider-Man on the side. And Treacle's behind you.
Yeah.
Not because you saw him, but because you guys have just done this so many, And
I trust people to be there.
Yeah. You kind of expect Jack. Actually, you think you're yelling to Jack, but he's just like, whack, whack.
Yeah. I know Jack is like out because he's food poisoning or something.
Right. And you see, he kind of like almost falls, he whips his belt off, and you yell over your shoulder as you're about to do whatever you're going to do that basically, and you hear this, is like, Treacle's on the side of the fucking train.
Oh, Proust.
Sorry. I was looking at Treacle.
Yeah.
Proust is on the side of the fucking train. And so now so people have got guns.
Those courteous girls got Callum.
Yeah.
Courteous girls.
They're so courteous.
That's right.
Courteous.
That's the gang. The courteous girls.
Courteous girls got Callum.
Maybe, please. I'll trade you the cigarello for Callum.
What?
That's all they had to do.
Yeah.
They could have
They could just ask.
But the case stays with me.
That's not Charlie.
I thought it was,
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a
too.
minute, that was like really
That's
long.
long.
No, that's Thunder.
All right. So,
Charlie's usually the silent but deadly type. So.
No, I thought he was like growling.
Oh, growling, no.
Because he like cleared.
the two guys on the roof.
Yeah.
Like, we'll say, Proust, you kind of sort of see this. Let's just say you don't have the full picture. You're kind of sliding, but you see it better, and you are about to see this anyway.
Okay.
So what you two see in full is you see, what are the names in? Who wrote this shit on index cards? You see Ciro, and you see the woman that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bar later, you're going to match up your stories and all this. But you see them, and there's like a device planted in the middle of the train, kind of lined up where Callum was. And it's not a crazy weird thing. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's just 3 legs and a winch, basically an automatic winch, where to zip Callum up to the thing.
Yeah.
In fact, when he got zipped up, he just didn't go whoop. It was like he whipped out and boom,
Slammed into the top.
slammed in like he's actually kind of beat up. He got a little bit more beat up by this thing, and they're kind of like unhooking him, and there's a third person there, and this is a guy who you've never seen before, and he's got what kind of, again, not a uniform but kind of geared up the same way, and he has 2 pistols and he was holding them like this, and when you guys popped over, he was just like pop like that, which is why he grazed you and why it missed you. If he had been doing this, you would not have a head anymore. But you guys came up at more or less the same time. He went pop up, and explosion of blue, and he just kind of tosses the pistols over his shoulder, and he takes out 2 more pistols, and that's where we're at right now. He is kind of going like this. Those other 2 are looking up. you again kind of see, you get the gist of this. Who's doing what? The case is still handcuffed to Callum.
And is he still attached to this?
Yeah. They're
So
kind of
Callum's on the
unhooking him.
winch. Okay, so
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What arm is it cuffed to? Is it
The
cuffed
real one.
Yeah.
to the actual the actual flesh hand?
Yes.
Wow.
So, I'm sure I'm contradicting myself, and in fact, I'm going to make a note of it here, is right hand is flesh.
I think that's right.
Oh, no. His left hand is flesh, and his right hand is metal.
well, which hand
All right.
it is isn't
So
profoundly critical anyway.
Right. Well, if a hand gets cut off, we do need to know.
Well, yeah, I mean, whether it's the real or fake hand
Actually, we
matters.
don't. because
Whether
then
it's the
just
right or
have
left
two
hand
hands
doesn't
or
matter.
Right. Yeah.
all right. So let me try and set the stage here. So
Yeah.
he's standing over this winch
Mm-hmm.
that brought Callum up. The two ladies are on either side of him, or what are they doing?
They're on either side of him, basically unhooking Callum,
Okay.
and you don't know what or why. I mean, they don't have like a hacksaw out or anything,
Right.
But yeah, they're dealing with Callum, and they both looked up, and then there's this guy. He's kind of a big dude,
Okay.
and pop threw the pistols over his shoulder. And, yeah,
All right. I'm gonna play Beethoven.
okay.
As he does that, he shoots, throws the guns over his shoulder, reaches and pulls out two guns. The two ladies are looking at either direction, and the alarm goes off as a tentacle comes out of the water and lashes onto the guy with the pistols.
Okay.
Oh, fuck me, crooked.
Yeah.
So now the gun
nameless-
jacks or the rail jacks.
Yeah.
Are,
Now, I'm not going to say that the Kraken. It's not the Kraken, and he smashed him. Now this guy's just an inky smear.
No.
But this thing kind of comes up as the train's slowing down. Bad idea to slow the train down over water, because this is the kind of shit that happens. And
Isn't the ocean just filled with fucking demons and shit?
yeah.
Not just the Leviathans. But
Not just the Leviathan. Yeah, no, there's monsters everywhere. This is a bad place to be.
Yeah.
And this thing kind of, we're going to say it whacks him and kind of knocks him down, and he's picking himself up. But then there's this horrible screech, and Proust sees the black inky water roiling underneath him as more kind of tentacles come up.
all right. And so for Uncle Treacle's
Beethoven, why did you summon a demon?
summon a hey, how else am I going to summon it?
Dun 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 dun.
Demon.
For Uncle Treacle's move now, as because everybody's kind of going up, he's going to put like one foot on the
Handrail.
handrail.
I have to go with the tentacle. And
No, I'm not going to ride the tentacle.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Not
We're going-
yet.
We're going
Not
full
yet.
anime here.
Right. Nope. I'm going to scratch off. I'm going to add climbing gear
Okay.
to my stuff, and he pulls out his collapsible.
Yeah, a little ninja grappling, not the big star one, like
Right.
a little ninja,
Like a
claw. Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to hook it to the handrail and just kick myself out, so I'm going out to the side just in case
Yeah.
Callum's coming this way, so I can catch him.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Why don't you roll for that?
All right.
Feel how. What do you think that's going to be?
I think it's going to be a
Not anything you have.
not anything I have.
Yeah.
Could I do it as a survey, as I can kind of see what direction they're headed?
A location or situation to understand what's going on. Sense trouble before it happens. Gather information. Yeah. I think you can kind of. It's on the edge, but I can see that.
Okay.
So, are you gonna push yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is anyone going to offer assistance?
How many dice you got?
I'm not. My stress budget got kind of
Right. You got cut in half.
I don't know if Because it's just helping me, just giving you stress, right? Not like thematically.
It's giving me dice.
Well, no, I mean me stress, you dice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I was about to charge the guy until I saw a tentacle, and then I stopped. So I
Yeah,
probably
well,
you're
I'm
just
like, whoa,
like holy fuck.
get Callum.
Yeah.
And he says, "Get out!" He's like, along the side.
Okay,
Yeah.
4.
4, and you're risky. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer a harm, a complication occurs, you have a reduced effect, you end up in a desperate position.
Let's go desperate.
So I was going to say desperate.
Let's go desperate.
You want to go desperate?
Let's start getting that XP.
That's right.
Okay, so here is what happens. You want to be like on the same level with the grapple thing, so you can catch Callum and
Right.
whatever, maybe do some moves stuff. And so you swing on this like you swing wide, and there's a couple of tentacles coming up and coming down, blindly lashing. You're like going through the spray of the ocean, and you grab on, like you hit to where you want to be, and you grab onto the side of it, and you've got your arm kind of twirled around the rope, so you don't, if you let go, you
Right.
don't go into the drink. And so you swing up, and the big guy spins around, because he got knocked down. He's up on one knee, and he reaches down and he grabs you, and he's holding you up by the throat like this, choking you.
Okay.
And so now you're in you don't take a harm, but this is your guy's desperate situation. Is that this dude is holding Treacle above the abyss?
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys do?
I'm gonna charge them.
All right, specifically.
So I stop for a second, and then after that happens, I'm like, oh fuck, and I fucking book it, and because all 3 of them are there, aren't they?
Yep, all 3 of them are there.
Well, I'm gonna run at them, and I am not to be trifled with.
No, you're not.
And I am going to absolutely spear this fucking guy as hard as I can and try to get him off the side of the train.
Okay, so let me ask the group here. What are your goals in this? What are you trying to do? I think it's pretty
Rescue
obvious.
Cal.
Okay, so
Yeah, rescue Callum, rescue Treacle.
Yeah, I was gonna say rescue Treacle #1,
Yeah.
rescue Callum #2.
Well, Callum's got also has the lens.
rescue Treacle #1,
Do the job.
rescue
Do the job.
Treacle.
Yeah, rescue Treacle is #1. Callum is like,
Yeah, there's always other jobs.
he's basically money.
Yeah, but he's got the.
Right.
There's only one Uncle Treacle.
He's living money at this point, and we just need him for that. Is how I look.
So
at it.
I'm going to start a clock here of this is the extricate Callum clock here.
I also want to keep one of them alive to see what the fuck was going on.
This clock has 6 slices. All right, so
6 slices.
that so that may seem like a lot.
Slices, not inches.
I'm gonna let you guys know out of character. There are some things going on that you have not clued into yet that is making this harder. So,
Well, I mean, we're too focused on what's happening anyway.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so there might be other ones coming, but we'll see how it kind of plays out.
I mean,
So,
There's clearly, and I'll even yell this. We're slowing down for a reason. As he's choking me. Something's coming.
I don't even listen to what he says. I'm not even. I'm like in rage mode.
Right.
I'm ready. I see blood.
okay.
Now if I do, as far as like fine weapons and heavy weapons, if I succeed in something, does it fill more in? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so there is effect, right? And then there's improving your position. So, like, we're in desperate, you guys are taking too much stress. You can do moves to better your position. That means take you down from risky. You can't just tell me, oh, well, I don't want to be in desperate anymore. I'm in risky. No, that's not how this works. You guys are, going to have to eat that. So, but like your fine weapons and stuff, that has additional effect. So let's say you punch this guy, and that would make me fill in 1 on the rescue Callum thing and get a little closer. You're like, no, I hit him with my special weapon, my fine weapon. It gives me +1 effect. Okay, I'm filling in 2 slices on it.
So if you crit, it would be 3.
You're right.
Gotcha. What would we consider like
So, and you're not to be trifled with if you read
not
that.
to be trifled with? Yeah. You can push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat.
Yep. So what are you trying to do with not to be trifled with?
Well, like I said, save him, but also essentially take them out. I'm trying to take them out as quick as possible.
Okay. I tell you what, don't mark it in for not to be trifled with yet. Let's do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Treacle is yelling at you to get Callum, and you are just doing the spear on the quarterback thing.
Yeah.
You are just cutting this guy in half with your body to save Treacle. All right. So roll something for that. Are we gonna wreck him? Are you gonna be the more technical skirmish him, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna say skirmish.
Okay.
All right.
I think that makes
I have foresight, so I'm going to give you one of my free assists.
Wow.
Ooh. So we've worked on this play before. Someone's choking me.
I've had to tackle people to go
Down on a train over a demon.
You got a tackle mannequin in
That's
the
right.
gym
That's
that
right.
is specifically a choke
And
one?
somebody's got a little sock puppet of a demon tentacle.
Here comes the demon.
Here, get in the choke thing. We've got to bring Reggie up.
Alright.
That's super hot.
6. Boom. So, where were we in desperate? No, we're in desperate.
We're in desperate,
So
yeah.
six is you do it. You just do it. So you tell me, what are you doing? What happens?
I hit
You're
him
not,
hard
you're
enough.
not
like,
killing this guy.
No. I completely. Let's say I could incapacitate him. Like I hit him hard enough to where he just drops Treacle. This guy's basically out. Like he's fucked.
Yeah. So this guy, boom, boom, like he hits so hard he bounces like twice.
Yeah.
He's not out, but yeah. So no, he's
hurt.
The ref is over and going 1, 2, but he's going to get up for the bell.
Yeah.
All right. So Treacle, Reggie hits him,
Right.
and you fall over the edge.
Yeah, I've got my hand.
But you have your hand thing, and you saw him coming, and there was a lot of slack. You're like, fuck.
Wrap it around, right.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just like.
Yeah. So he hits, you swing down, and you are this close to those steel wheels that are turning on the track.
Ooh.
As you kind of like, and the rails are going, and you're like climbing up.
Right, and as I'm climbing up, there's like somebody in the window looking at me, and I'm like rubbing my face on it.
He takes the blind, goes.
Thanks, asshole.
You hear the window lock.
I grabbed one of my syringes.
Yeah.
Right, because I have a blowgun, darts, and syringes, and one of my syringes is loaded with some of the standstill poison from my bandolier, from one of my bandoliers.
Kellum and Alexander have a lot of poisons on them.
And I'm going to charge one of the 2 women. I don't care which, because obviously Reggie charged the one guy.
Right.
I'm going to charge one of the other women, and I want to use wreck. I'm going to push myself, and I want to basically, charge at her so she thinks I'm trying to do the same kind of tackle bullshit.
Yeah.
But whatever is most easily exposed, that's what I'm. So leg, neck, doesn't matter. That's what I'm stabbing with the thing, because I'm not a big tough guy.
Okay.
But
Yeah, they're probably not expecting you to even try that. Like, what does this guy think he's doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they got the tentacles, and they're heavy,
Yeah.
and and all that shit. And they're
So 5, which will succeed, but I believe there is consequence.
you do it. There's a consequence. You suffer a severe harm, a serious complication occurs, or you have reduced effect.
Remember, every skill check you make in Desperate, you get an XP point
thank
for.
you. Yep. And you get it for the thing that you in the area you roll.
In the area you roll.
I roll
Correct.
correct, so I'll get it in prowess. Thanks, Dan. I don't know. I think that she counterstrikes me, and maybe I take a big hit, like a big hit to the face or something. You know, as I'm coming in, she counterstrikes and hits me with something, maybe the butt of a pistol or whatever, and fucks me up.
So here's what happens. You do it. So you run up like the distraction happens. The bull in the china shop zips through, and they're like, "Holy fuck!" And then you are just, and you hit her in the back, just the whole thing, and she's just like this, and then suddenly you're staring at the sky. You're horizontal. You're kind of bent. And you're staring at the sky. You don't know what happened. What's Proust doing?
All right, so there's a demon tentacle feeling around the top of the train.
Well, I mean, demon tentacle, that's so judgy.
Okay, fine. there's an underworld appendage.
Yes.
That's groping about for a well-earned meal at the end of a hard day, providing for its family.
Right.
And
it's a working man.
He just took out one of the two women that had Cal, which means there's still one that has him, right? Or still one that's messing with him?
There's one that's messing with him, and then from your position where you're hanging, right? You don't see this, and you don't, because you're still trying to get up and not be crushed under the train.
Right.
You
I'm
are
on top.
You are picking yourself up.
Yeah.
And also kind of like, did I take this guy? You know, you don't want him coming back.
I'm focused on him.
Right. So you don't see exactly what happened with him, but you're kind of like coming up, and then you see Alexander like this, and you're like, okay, yeah, you got him. Maybe you slip a little. The train kind of does this. You slip a little, and then you're coming up to do your thing again, and there is a man there who is dressed like these people, who is holding Alexander above his head on the other side of the train. This guy was not there before, and looks like he's about to throw Alexander over the train.
Yeah, that's.
And he's kind of like, you have no clue. You've never seen this guy before. You don't know where he came from. He wasn't up here a moment ago.
It's all these shrouded people.
Yeah, okay. So I can save Callum or I can save Alexander. I can't save both at this moment. Well, Callum's at least attached to something. Getting Alexander back from demon food's going to be harder. You know what? Can I do this instead? Can I take...
Is it outrageous? Is it daring? Is it a desperate thing?
Yes.
The answer will probably be yes.
What I want to do is I'm going to let him make the body throw. And I'm going to prepare myself, tighten up my belt, do everything.
They're on the other side of the train from you. They're not on the same side.
Then I'll go... What are there train? Because there a gangway or a train door near me that I can go through?
You know what? This is a crazy, outrageous thing. There are windows. You can whoop through the window and then dive through the other window if you want.
I'm going to fuck these people's windows.
That's right.
So, and I'm going to come out on the other side. My goal is to stay under the radar. I'm going to let them throw Alexander and try to catch him when he's coming
under
out.
the radar. There's somebody like with Treacle, there's somebody there, and then you go, whoop, and they're like, oh fuck, and
yeah, I want to let them make the throw.
Absolutely.
I don't think I can... Getting up there and fighting him's not my forte.
Right.
So I'm going to let him throw Alexander and simply try to be there to catch him when he's going over the edge.
Absolutely. And in fact, you have to smash through the window and get to the other side, so that gives you plenty of time to kind of stall and let him throw it. Give me a roll. What kind of roll is that going to be?
I
think they're all playing grab ass. Callum's just lying there.
Fuck Callum.
It would work out about the same way either way, so I'm going to go with Prowl.
There's our damage
To
to
move
those people
unseen
did
and-
not further the free Callum clock.
You have done nothing to help Callum yet.
At least, yeah, he's...
You freed Uncle Treacle.
Right.
Well, you're
about to get rescued.
So you're about to be
But I
demon food.
did
I ain't
stab
got-
that
Oh, wait, no,
woman-
yeah, you
I
did.
stab
I'm
that woman
sorry.
with standstill
You are
poison.
right. You are
Yeah.
correct. I'm sorry.
I don't have 150 feet of rope to stop to fish you out of the water.
She's
Much less a harpoon
temporarily
gun for
paralyzed.
the demon. So,
Push her off.
Yeah.
See you, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, dude, if I hadn't gotten picked up, I'm not even
Treacle,
kidding.
can I talk you out of a boost for
I'll
this?
give you my last free boost.
All right. After this, I'll start stressing. 6. So I got it. Okay.
Nice.
Oh.
So I come out the other side. Yeah. But with,
Okay, so desperate situation. Dan, you tell me what happened.
all right. So I reel back, smash through the window, feet first.
People go flying. There's people screaming.
Go running across to the other door, or the other window, excuse me, the opposing window. Kick it out, grab the railing, yank the tablecloth off the table that I just walked across, and rip it out into empty air, hoping he will see it as he's falling and grab it.
Absolutely. That's and it's a really tacky tablecloth too. It's like
Well, fine, they can lose their Pizza Hut Haas tablecloth.
I know, right?
I don't care about that.
yeah, Alexander, you don't know what happened. Literally, there are 3 people on this roof, and you hit this person, and then the next thing you know, whoa!
There was a fourth adversary.
There was a 4th adversary.
Wow.
There should not have been. There was a 4th
Listen,
adversary.
I can get up there and brawl, but I'm just...
Use some goddamn magic on me.
Right. And you are being hit like by the scruff of your neck and by your...
Nutsack.
He grabbed you by the taint.
Yeah.
And, you're like, what? And before you even know it, you kind of do one of these, and there is the sheer drop into this roiling mass of tentacles and death. And it is, your life is over. And all of a sudden, it is free fall. Like, you're falling, you left your stomach up there.
He was on the opposite end of me, right?
Yeah.
So I probably saw this.
Yeah, as this is going on, you're looking up and you are seeing this, right?
That's not good for probably anybody because I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can't command demons currently.
I'm probably gonna rage post it. I'm not gonna lie.
Uncle Treacle, you are just coming up, and Reggie is helping him. Reggie, you sense some movement or something, or Alexander's like, fuck! And you're pulling Treacle up, and you see this guy. Who the fuck even is this guy? Throws Alexander over the side. 90-foot drop into death.
Yeah. So I think he's dead.
He is dead. Now, what happens is, as you're falling, glass hits you. Shards of glass cuts your face, your arm, and stuff. Just little cuts, and you see this fucking white and red checker ass Pizza Hut fucking tablecloth. Boom, and it is coming towards you. You grab it, and the entire weight of Alexander, all of his stuff and his momentum, hits that tablecloth as hard as it can. Proust is dragged along the ground, and you put your feet up, and basically you are on the window and like tying this thing around your arm, and you aren't even pulling it up. You are just holding it. Alexander, you...
Oh, yeah, I have no prayer that I'm going to lift him. He's going to have to climb.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, it was really close. I mean, because contrary to movies, you can't actually throw someone 20 feet away.
Yeah.
He really just kind of dropped you.
Right.
And so you grabbed it, and kind of the same thing as Uncle Treacle is you slam against the side of the thing, of the train, and then there are the wheels. Turning, and then the thump, thump of the long rails across, and the roiling and stuff, and you're just, and then Proust is there. Proust is calm. He's collected and everything, except right now, Proust is still human, and he's like, and Proust has to reach deep to keep this there, to not drop Alexander, as Alexander is obviously
Right.
in there,
Trying to scurry up this thing, but
and
that's...
you two fall in and on top of each other in this mess in the middle of the you're on the birth car, so it's someone else's room, and they're just standing there like, what the fuck? Guys, I have some terrible news for you. Alexander just died. He was murdered, thrown over the side of a train into the ocean, into a maw of a demon.
Alex! I legit, I hit myself with a rage potion. Like,
You are up and moving, and you're just like...
At this point, I do not care. I'm killing anyone I can.
I love it.
Yeah. I don't care about capturing somebody anymore. I don't give a fuck.
All right, so what I'm doing is, as he's getting up, I see he's grabbing his rage potion. He's going after them. I take, because I'm holding onto the rail, I take the other end of my rope and I just attach it to his belt so that way if he gets knocked off, it can be attached. Yeah. So I'm no longer attached to anything.
Yeah, and I'm like grasping for it. Like, I'm trying to hurry because I'm like, no, I'm fucking. Yeah. And it's like an injector. I fucking inject it into my leg.
You all one motion. You're up. You hit it, and you don't hear anything. You just are like,
it's like a ring.
Yeah, you're just like screaming as this bellowing, loud call you're doing as you are just going to slaughter anyone in your way as you're going towards this guy. He's like turning around. So I would say, what are you doing? Obviously, you're killing motherfuckers.
Normally when I fight, it's pretty, because I'm a boxer, so it always looks like really controlled. This is not controlled.
Yeah.
This is wild fucking open hand swinging, trying to crush shit.
All right. Why don't you roll your I would assume skirmish?
Yeah. Well, it could be skirmish or
wreck. Yeah. You gonna push yourself?
Would it be skirmish if I'm on rage, though?
So skirmish is skirmish with an opponent in close combat, assault or hold a position, brawl or wrestle.
Yeah.
Whereas wreck
just destroy shit.
Is wreck an item, place an item or an obstacle with savage force or carefully applied sabotage, breach defenses with force, or create distraction and chaos.
Man, it could really be either one.
If I'm obviously not running the game, the only distinction I noticed is prowl seems to be directed at people, whereas wreck seems to be directed at
skirmish.
Skirmish.
Oh, skirmish. Yeah. Skirmish is directed at people.
Wreck is more.
Whereas wreck is about things.
But do I see these people as things right now?
You could fucking totally.
Well, like I said, if I was jamming, I'm with Chad. I'd go. You can either, but
wreck the top of the damn.
Yeah. And we've done wreck on people, and it's like
just bashing down an object.
Yeah.
It just so happens the object is a heartbeat.
I'll do skirmish. I'll do skirmish because I am seeing red, and I am specifically
assault.
Trying to assault.
You're
them.
assaulting them. Yeah, I mean it's just like it is violence. You're just not. You're doing it Jack style and not Reggie style.
Right.
That shitting bitch should be here.
Waka.
I will push myself.
Who wants to hear a funny ass joke?
You're asking funny.
Do bully Muppets wipe their asses with other Muppets?
Yes, absolutely.
It's
It's like Squigs.
I think that actually happened in an episode, if I'm remembering right.
This one's cocked. But it's fine,
reroll it. Cock.
No, we'll go 5.
5? Okay. You do it, but you suffer. There's a consequence, suffer harm, or serious complication. So basically, what I'm saying is, this guy, like you hit the rage potion, right? And you are just going to turn this guy into a red mist.
Yeah, I'm trying to just fucking turn him into paste.
And he turns around, and I'm going to put a clock on this fight, right? So this is just this fight, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be 4. And you act, so you're reduced to, like, you have the rage potion stuff, so you should be doing 2. You're reduced effect, right? So this guy turns around and you just clock it, and you are going to, like, you're in your mind, you're punching through, you're going to just destroy. And he is a technical fighter, and you go for another hit, and he blocks, and he kind of moves around, and then he kind of kicks you.
Yeah, so if I wasn't raging, it'd have probably been better, but because I am, he can, like,
and he's
be defensive.
Well, and you're still better than, you're not thinking this, you're still better than him, and you go to swing at him, and then he ducks, and he's not there anymore, and you go, and again, you're not like looking, you're just going to kill anyone, and you turn around, and there's one of the other people there who, like, jabs you real quick, does a rabbit punch, just a sucker punch, and then you go to swing at them, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you turn around again, and there's the guy, and he, like, clocks you in the face, and you just don't even, your blood just drives you further, and you go to clock him, and it's just, they're disappearing. They're
playing to their strengths of like disappearing and coming
right.
out. And,
Yeah, they're using the shadow cloaks, but Reggie can't. He isn't processing that right now.
Mm-mm.
It's just for him. It's just targets, and he's just going, and he doesn't even notice they're hurting him. You, I would assume, is Uncle Trico is kind of like taking the step back and going, okay, what's the situation here, or what are you doing?
I still have my climbing gear.
Yeah.
Where is Callum from where I am?
He's a couple feet away, unconscious and kind of half hooked up to this thing.
Right. My assumption is that they're not really after Callum. They're after the case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, as this is all happening, I pull a piton out of my climbing pack hammer and go right through the handle.
Oh, God, I thought you were about to say hand.
I was thinking
I was
about
wondering how graphic, like, we're going to go
brutal.
down here.
He
and
wouldn't fall.
Go straight crucifixion.
Well, we need to get the hand off, but we only have hammer.
Yeah.
You bite down on your wallet.
Right. No, so the handle of the case, I'm going to essentially just pin it to the top of the.
Oh, and okay, no.
So that way they can't lift the case.
Cool.
Nicely done.
Right? No, that's okay. So there's a person there who's going to try and stop you. Are you going to try to basically let's have you roll it?
You want me to roll the pinning or
No, the pinning. If you do well on like the one of the females fighters is there, and she's going to try and stop you.
Okay.
So if you succeed in like fighting her, like you can just like kind of pop her and then duck to the side, then hit it real quick, and that's what we're not going to have you roll a pin it.
Okay. So I will use my concealed palm pistol.
Oh yeah.
Pow! Hit her with it, and then I'll pin the.
Cool.
All right. So I have 1 for the hunt.
Yep.
And I'll push myself.
Okay.
Gets 2 stress. Which gives me 2 dice. 3.
The worst outcome. You suffer a severe harm, a serious complication, or you lose this opportunity for action. Basically what I'm going to say is, you just don't do it. And you are now tangled up fighting with. You expect like, pow, and you shoot her. You take your gun out and shoot her, and boom, hits her center mass. Mm-hmm. And she kind of like this, and then she comes back at you wearing armor.
Okay.
And so you are now, instead of pinning the case or helping these guys, you are fighting for your life. Okay. She has taken out a shorter sort of sword.
Okay.
And she is like, not just whacking at you, she is doing sword things, and you're just like, whoop, whoop, like that. So to get out of this, to do something other than fight her, you're either going to have to beat her, or one of these guys are going to have to beat her, or something like that. So you're tangled up now.
Gotcha.
All right. Who's doing what?
Back to the roof. I mean, that's probably going to take my whole turn, but I need to get back on the roof of this car so I can get back in the fight.
So you two are, tangled up together, and you're suddenly the door opens up, and Flint is standing there, and he's in his full gear, and he kind of like not grabs you by, but basically kind of helps you guys up. It's like, what in the hell is going on out there?
Somebody's getting abducted.
Why is the train slowing down? Abducted from what? From where?
I don't know. There's some thugs. They took our friend Callum. He's up on the top of the train.
What's her name?
Proust takes him by the shoulder. Obviously, Proust is not strong enough to turn this guy.
You just slap him in the face.
Yeah, I just slap him and beat him.
Don't fucking question me, you bitch.
I beat him until he cried. No, and I just
starts crying.
Point out the other side at the tentacles grappling the train.
He's like, I know. He says, Sevna is taking care of that, but there's more going on here. Somebody is doing something to the train. Yeah, somebody's doing something. You say they're taking your friend?
Which one did you point at? No.
Somebody's taking your friend? Let's go up and stop him.
Let's go.
All right. He kind of pulls down his helmet, and he hits a button on the side of it. He's got his exoskeleton suit on and the armor. Hits a button on the side of it, and basically the air around him starts to crackle as the engine on his backpack starts to spin up, and the room is filled with the exhaust, that electrophasic smoke exhaust, like kind of choking.
It smells like home.
Right. And you just hear this as he just takes a couple of strides. He slams his hand into the door, and basically the door just slams off the hinges to the outside. And he flips around, he grabs one of the rails, and it's the strength assist exoskeleton, and he just flips himself instantly up, and he's on the roof. And you guys are ready to catch up. So what are you guys doing? Getting on the roof.
I'm charging up the train from the inside to the toward the locomotive, because who the hell's slowing this train down?
Right.
I mean, if the engineers can't see the back of the train because it's in a straight line, then this probably wasn't their idea. So I'm running toward the locomotive to see what the hell's going on up front.
Okay. You're going to the locomotive. What is Alexander doing? You see him charge off, like, instead of going around and up, you see him
There's
charging to
limits
first
to my
class.
value in a street brawl anyway, especially without the ghost field. So,
No, you can still do a lot.
oh, I'm not saying I just did. I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying this is like Dan sits with thumb up his ass hour. I'm just saying I think I'll be more useful at flex
Leave
position.
the punching to the punching
Precisely.
guys. Yeah.
I'm just saying I need to. There is a pocket I need to go into, and up there ain't it.
All right, I'm gonna go out the exact way I went up the first time. So out the door, up the ladder to the top of the train to assess the situation. But now, I mean, there's a fourth enemy, and there's tiny Tim Flint, who's up there. As well.
Tiny Tim Flint. Yeah.
Right, Timothy Flint. That's his name, right? Tiny Tim Flint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just head up that way as well, but I assume it's gonna take would be the entirety of my action.
No, we're going to say you're up there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, if I can engage an enemy, I will engage an enemy with the aforementioned wreck. But I fight technically as well, but only because all large people have weak points like joints and throats and ears and noses, and so I just kick and fight mean and dirty.
This isn't a mud pit. This is an operating room, and I'm the surgeon.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's what you see. You see the woman that you hit with the drug, and she is kind of like, it doesn't last forever,
Right.
And you kind of see her kind of like doing the sort of wiggle, like she's trying to kind of push through it, and it's not going to hold her for very long. You see Reggie, and he is literally foaming at the mouth. He has blood coming out of his eyes.
All right.
And the veins are just like he took the whole dose of rage potion. Like too much rage potion.
Right.
And he is fighting two the big guys, and the third No, you're fighting the third one. So he's fighting the two big guys.
All right.
And they are basically, as you see it, he's like swinging like this, and he's like, if he would connect, he would take somebody's head off. Except these guys are like dropping into the roof and then popping back up. And you're kind of seeing this as you're coming up, they're using the shadow cloaks to dive into them out of the way of his punches, and the other one will dive up to his side or a blind spot or behind him and like give him a hit to the kidneys, or like catch him from he throws a right. Somebody peers and throws a left hook at him.
Well, then I'm going to run right toward the paralyzed chick, and hopefully she can read on my face my exact intention to push her frozen ass over the side.
Go for it,
because that's exactly what I do. I mean,
yep.
I assume I don't need to make a roll or anything since she's paralyzed.
Well, okay, so you guys, if you were in a controlled situation, I'd say it'd be fine. Except you're in a desperate situation, because not only is all that going on, Flint is running towards the fight with Reggie.
Gotcha.
And he is taking his spear. He's got a spear, and he's like taking pole pieces out and sticking. He's like, here's a spear that's the size of a sword, and then he like sticks a pole piece out, and then he sticks this bottom piece on that has, pardon me, that has a cable hooked up to his backpack. And as he runs, he hits this button, and the spear starts crackling and glowing. And you see the ice blonde running along, and she has her two like basically they're like rods, right? That are both hooked up to her backpack, and she is hitting the tentacles off. And basically, she like a tentacle comes and she dives, rolls out of the way, and hits it, and then you hear the whole thing convulses. It's like she's electrifying it, and the tentacle like goes floop like this and rolls away. But there's like a bunch of them. And she's just in this fight, like flipping over them, dodging them, doing all that, kind of ignoring the people fight as she is fending off and doing her work on the demon.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry,
the working man.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to push myself then, since this situation is desperate. Critical success.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. So, like I said, my intention is to just bull rush her and push her off of the train.
So
cigarette cunt.
So that's going to be 2 slices on the save Callum thing.
All right.
And yeah, she's like, her eyes kind of like look over at you, and she's kind of like starts to more desperately move, and you just run up and you kind of near in the ribs,
right?
And then grab her and drag her. And remember, this is not paralyzing potion where you go all like limp. This is, weird shit science standstill potion.
Sci-fi stiffy.
Yeah. She's sci-fi stiffy. And so you are dragging her to the edge, and nobody noticed, like her partners and stuff. Nobody sees it. And so like the 2 guys he's fighting, none of them come over to try and stop you. The one fighting him doesn't talk, and you just are like, whoop, and she is thrown into the abyss.
Perfect.
See, I hope.
And then she's caught by a tentacle, and then the tentacle like crushes her.
Yum, 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 yum,
And then goes to feed the family. Yeah. That's all this guy's trying to do. He's just trying to feed kids.
He's got 2 kids in regular college. 1 kid is just bright enough to make it into community college. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Right. Hold down a career.
Yeah.
Nobody gets a free ride.
Nope.
Not in the Abyss U.
This you. All right. What are you guys doing?
Well, I'm fighting those guys.
Yeah, you're fighting those guys. Okay, so
I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Proust is not there. So let's.
Yeah.
Whoop. So you crash through the kitchen thing.
Yeah.
You crash through the the first class.
Yeah.
Basically, people are like clutching their pearls and oh my god and
no.
My word. There's a guy there who, he's in a Christian tent, and he sees this and he's like about to take out a sword, and as you run by, you just flip the table over on him. And he's like, whoa, like this, and you just keep going. You just pull in a China shop, and it's just chaos in there. And then you go through, and there's probably like it's not a coal car, obviously. It's this electrophasmic thing. But there's probably a smaller car for the engineers and whatnot. And then you burst into the engine room. And you see a guy. He's a shorter guy, middle-aged dude, kind of bald. He's in overall, obviously, the engineer. And he's leaning on a lever. There's a lot of levers and dials. You know what any of this shit does. And he is standing there, and he has just counting a wad of cash. And he looks up at you. His eyes are wide. He's like,
I just nail him with a lightning hook.
I was going to say that he's the worst person to find somebody that's doing something bad for money.
right.
I just straight nail him with a lightning hook.
Yep. I'm not even going to make you roll. It isn't a fight. It's not a clock. It's not a fight. This guy, you have him flat-footed, and you just basically like,
Yeah.
and you hit him with a 10,000 volt cattle prod, and he is
Pissing himself.
right. I mean, he's actually not unconscious. That's going to take a minute. I mean, but he's like on the ground, and it's not like even getting hit by a taser. It is literally like getting hit by a cattle prod. And this guy was not expecting it, didn't see it, and he is on the ground.
I do take the money. Is that a coin bag? Or?
Yeah, give yourself a coin.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. You know, for the orphans.
Oh, well, once again, I'm sitting on, I believe, the group's only money.
Right.
So he's obviously not been blowing it. It's not so much about
a fight, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not so much that Proust wants it, so much as he doesn't want him to have it.
Sure. Yeah.
And
into Jerry's prison wallet.
now Proust is going to
The safest place on earth.
close, just
Fucker makes exact
spin
change.
shut the hatch door to the engine room, take out the giant bone shear scissors, and wait for this man to get to a point where he's ready to discuss his situation.
Okay. All right. So that'll take a minute for him to compose himself, to have a rational conversation about the state of the world and his place in it, which is not going to be a very long time of existence in it. So we go back to the roof, and the situation is Reggie is fighting these two guys that he can't overcome at the moment. He's just blind fury. They're not really beating him because of the rage potion.
Yeah.
You're not able to beat them because you can't think straight.
Right.
And there's this sort of
There's no strategy.
Yeah, so you're going to need some help on that. You have Uncle Treacle, who is unexpectedly in a fight. I mean, it is like a one-on-one. This person is technical, they're skilled, they have a weapon, and you are fighting and trying to... You know how to fight, but
Yeah, I'm not a fighter.
you're not a fighter, and so you're fending it off.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, you had just come up, right? Oh yeah, no, you threw them overboard.
I pushed that one woman overboard.
You see the ice blonde fighting off these tentacles all around you, basically ignoring you, and you see Flint run over with his spear, and he's about to shish kebab one of the guys Reggie's fighting.
Okay.
And that's when you look over and you see the other train pulling up beside this one.
Awesome.
And that's when you see one of the cargo boxes open up, and there's a fucking deck gun on it. And there's the rollers, and they just go shunk shunk, bop, 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 and they start just clearing the top of the deck.
That's amazing.
And here's what happens. The ice blonde hears it, sees it, and she is diving and out of the way, flipping. She doesn't get hit. These tracers are going back and forth, lighting up. Blue tracers lighting up this inky night. The tentacles are getting hit. People down below you, you don't see it, but the train car below you, the berths and stuff, are getting hit. Jack is in his thing. Oh no! Waka, waka. And as it goes across, the two guys, they hit the deck, and Reggie's like this, and just, God loves a madman, the bullets just slide by you.
Yeah, I don't even notice.
Yeah, you don't even notice them. And then Timothy Flint is coming up, and he doesn't see it. He's focused on hitting the guy. He gets hit in his armor, hits his thing. The blue sparks come out. Armor gets shattered off him. He falls to the ground and bounces and rolls off and goes over the side.
So
That's where we're in tonight.
just so I understand, those guys, were they specifically aiming us? They just light everything up.
They were rollers, so
They're rollers.
Oh, okay.
They're lighting standard roller procedure of how those guys go.
So they're not working with the Shadow Cloak people. They're a third axis of this fight.
Or they hired the
I don't
Shadow
know.
Cloak people to, you know.
Well, that's what I was trying to understand is were they being careful about shooting the Shadow Cloak people, or is it just F them all?
I mean, you know, are you going to leave any of them to ask?
No.
That's what happens when you roll with the shadow or with the fucking rollers.
Yeah, I mean,
they shoot your ass with a chain gun.
This might just be one of those mysteries in life that never gets answered because every motherfucker is dead.
If Reggie has anything to do with it, yeah.
Right.
They're fucking dead.
Yeah.
They pull out old
How
penguins.
far are the trains apart?
We're gonna say they're jumpable.
Perfect, because that means it's grenade throwable.
Yeah.
That was the important part to me. Is the guy with the bandolier of grenades who's on the top is going to be like, "Fucking suck it, bitches!" Because here comes a grenade throw into your your machine gun car.
Let me put it to you this way: they're close enough to be able to jump, but far enough so that it's dangerous.
Perfect. No, that's perfect because then it's far enough for my dumbass to throw a goddamn grenade.
Can we please start next session with the entire wall completely gone and Jack on the shitter looking at the open cargo
Just
door?
there. Right, yeah.
Man, maybe that should help.
Well, if there was any shit left in him, there ain't no more.
It's all dried up now. He sucked
I
that shit
want
back
you
up.
to totally blow the roll on skirmishing with these guys, because then I was gonna have Callum's potion drain the rage potion out of you, and you'd be like, I don't really feel like fighting him. Whap! So what do you guys think?
I loved the cloak fighters in particular. I thought that was super cool description.
Thank you.
Yeah, agreed.
I have been sitting on that sort of encounter for easily a month and a half. I have been wanting to do a train heist score for, this is the third campaign I've run. I've wanted to do this in the previous two, and those motherfuckers would never get on a goddamn train.
Another thing that I really, really like that you did is the PCs are the MacGuffin. I always think that that's fun when we have the MacGuffin and the bad guys come to us to get the MacGuffin. You know, I always think I enjoy that.
I was seriously considering doing one of those weird art things with this, of opening up the game to kind of the opening situation of the Shadow Cloakers attack, and then flipping it and having you guys play the rollers and the Shadow Cloakers, and you guys do the score from their perspective.
Well,
But there's a lot of complications with that.
Yeah.
Like if you guys are, because let's be honest here, the good guys are supposed to win, and there's a very real
good guys.
good guy. Yeah, there's a very real chance that you could hurt your real characters like badly. You could succeed in a way that I can't. That would mean I would have to be playing your characters and risking your characters. I think it's a really cool idea that has a lot of.
I think it would have been
problems.
a neat thing if it had not involved us. If it had been like the rollers versus the
Blue
cloakers.
cloaks. Oh yeah, something like
You know,
that,
it's the shadow cloaks versus the rollers or something. Then that would have been interesting.
right.
But yeah, the moment we're involved, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm going to be blunt. I mean, I'm human. My willingness to really twist the screws on
Myself.
my character or anyone else's character.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and look. Think of it this way. I want you guys to pull back. I would have wanted you guys to pull back so that our heroes can win.
oh yeah.
Except how we are. I am playing the Shadow Cloakers and the Rollers is they aren't holding back.
Yeah.
So there would be
Incongruous.
incongruous. So yeah, and it didn't. There's a lot of problems with it. So I was like, I think it could work. God, that would be difficult. So yeah, I was like, no, we're gonna go with this.
yeah, I like the train. I like the confined space. As a gamer, I have no objection to being on a railroad, literal or proverbial.
Yeah. Well, and I set it up. There were a lot of things that you guys could have done, and I think you guys did everything you could have done with with the information you had. There was I put on the table opportunities to sabotage the rollers. If you guys had wanted to take a score in the train station, like, okay, you don't know what the rollers are doing, you know they're coming after you, nothing is to say that they're going to be able to make it. You don't know what their plan is. We're going to sabotage their train.
Right.
I would have taken that piece off the field.
That's an interesting thing, too. Another thing I like about this style of game is that it really does reward or encourage thinking outside the box, which is just something I'm so entrenched in D&D thinking, even though I play a lot of non-D&D games. Like the idea of, well, fuck those guys, let's go screw their plan. I'm like, well, the Game Master obviously has... There's something at the other end of these rails, and so I should just shut up and get on the goddamn train and go to the other end of the rails.
Why would I screw up their plan? The Game Master spent so much time thinking up. I want to see the trap sprung. Like, no.
I'm not preparing a goddamn thing when I run this game for you guys, because I know that every second I spend in preparation is a waste. So I will not do it.
Oh, no. You've rubbed off on him now.
And I'll let you guys know, too. I mean, like I said, I plan on playing Callum in the other games. I put Callum on here, and risk, failure is part of my game. You guys can fail. Callum could die. I don't have a problem with that. I'll just do another character. And I like that. I like
Mabel.
Yeah. Too powerful. Way too powerful.
It'd get too sexy. It'd be too sexy.
Okay, you guys need to leave, Reggie not gonna role play.
Reggie, get that rage potion.
But yeah, I have no problem putting Callum out there to where if there's a situation that comes up where it's just like, okay, we can either save Callum or the case. We can't save both, and this isn't the hand. This is the life. And you guys say, okay, no, we're saving the case. It's the job above everything. Cool. I'm down with it. Love it. But yeah,
well, that'll be necessary because right now there's a 3-point connection: the winch, the Callum, to the case.
Right.
You save any one of them, you probably save the other two, whether you intended to or not.
Yeah. Well, I'm not putting Callum's head in the noose.
Well, right.
Reggie likes Callum 40% of the time. He doesn't give a fuck about the lens other than the fact that we're like, ooh,
it's the job. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
He thinks it's a dumb idea anyway, so he'd probably save Callum's dumbass.
Treacle thinks that if we fuck this up, then the
Red Sash
fuck us up. No, the Red Sashes won't give us any more work.
Shit, they'll probably shut us the fuck down.
And I did consider putting that Piton through his forearm, but then I was like, no, that's too graphic. Probably should have.
Yeah, I mean, he can't fall off. Like I said,
but he's not like what Dan said.
If he's on to the
other thing was, I was thinking about using the Beethoven to have the guy prematurely shoot off his guns as he pulls them out.
Yeah,
and shoot the winch.
Yeah.
But then I went for the demon because how often are you going to summon a demon?
I know, right?
I think it was a good use. Plus, I mean, it makes sense in the setting, and it makes us being over the ocean way more dangerous. Because if you didn't have that, it'd be like, oh, you can just stop above the ocean. But then now it's like, this is why you don't stop above the ocean.
Yeah, I didn't know
You're
that.
getting fucking attacked by giant fucking creatures.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
So while this dude is counting his fucking money, he's basically he took a payoff to essentially put everybody at risk.
Yeah.
Well, again, not just in theory, but because he knows the demons are down there.
Right.
He saw, certainly I would assume, was aware of the demon lashing the thing, and now another train's pulled up. It ain't just us that's getting shot. Yeah.
Every day that motherfucker comes to work, there are people on the train whose job it is to fight monsters while the train's moving.
Right.
Maybe he's desensitized. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I've made it this long. Right?
Yeah, that's why he's not going to have a pleasant future.
Yeah. Nor a long one.
Yeah. I don't know. Krause hasn't decided yet. It sort of depends on what he says, but we'll keep what
He's
needs to be.
He's probably
going to say, what needs to be kept off camera, we'll keep off camera.
Sure.
But,
yeah. Proust does horrible things that he is very good at.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's utterly desensitized to because he's so...
Right.
He lives in a constant state of depersonalization, derealization.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
I did love that scene of how you saved Alexander. That to me, that's the kind of outrageous moves that people need to
and
make.
that's, it's okay. So we've talked about on the show that your character sheet sometimes clues you in because where you've got your skills, your actions, these are the buttons you can push.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at my character sheet at the obvious level, the biggest red buttons I've got to push all involve ghosts in the spirit field.
Yeah.
Which I could go into demonology, that's a slightly separate thing, and really not character with prowess. And even if I was going to, I'm not there currently.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not that much of a fighter. But what can I do? And that's from I kind of came up with, well, I can play these flex roles. I can basically hang out at the edge of the fight and look for these opportunities to change the situation. And I mean, if there's I don't know, I don't want to get into a big advice thing, but if there's a little bit of advice, it's that of sometimes not knowing what to do with your character just means you need to be a little more creative about how you look at what your character can do, and maybe the most obvious buttons to push aren't the ones you go for. So it's like, I mean, like I said, if I go up on top of that train and start punching out with these people, especially if there's no ghost nearby for me to pull, I'm screwed. Sure. Yeah. I mean, best case scenario, I'm going to fail and maybe take some damagement for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be a damaged sponge, but I'm probably not going to succeed.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, but there's other things I can do. I can observe what's going on. If they leave an opening, he could have taken the shears and chopped somebody's Achilles tendon when they're by the edge, or pulled somebody down, or in this case, caught somebody as they're being thrown off. Or
that was amazing, by the way.
I was also contemplating at some point, the winch is electroplasmic or plasma or whatever. I've got vials of that. Can I short circuit it or overload it by nailing it with the ghost hook or one of those vials?
You can make a case for attuning with the ghost field and doing something to it.
Yeah, or to the ghost field and doing something to the people's clothes, where they drop into the ghost realm and they don't go out where they think they were going to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I mean, it's about, you have to have a certain amount of creativity in looking at your own character. I mean, it's the same thing in this we talked about in the most recent regular episode of having the creativity to figure out what to do in role playing situations where there's, and so I started kind of developing this sense that he has sort of this, he's basically playing musical chairs with bodies and spirits. There are X number of bodies, there are X plus Y number of spirits. Therefore we have to get the best spirits into the smaller available number of bodies. And so that's kind of his new weird sort of
when I was thinking of this whole scenario, it's like I have the scenes and pieces that I want to happen and the tensions and whatnot. And basically I spend all day today thinking of characters to populate it. The bartender. And the bartender, he was actually going to be, he's his whole background. I was actually going to have him talk more, but then as I played him, I really liked the idea of just, he's the big silent type and he communicates with looks and gestures, especially when he saw you guys cheating.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to narc on you guys or say anything because
he understands.
Yeah, and he's an ex-con. That's part of his thing, is that he was from the street, he understands, and he's from prison and he's gone straight.
Yeah. And
he's a bartender on a train now. Also possibly the bouncer too. But the Ice Blonde. And I had to start thinking of her a little bit. I don't think I really formed her enough in my mind as a character yet. Flint is pretty well formed because Flint is a character from a previous campaign.
Who's the one that died?
Flint.
Flint was the one that died. Okay.
Well, you think he's dead.
Yeah,
that card's worth so much more money now.
So the thing is,
I got it signed.
Flint is a character from a previous campaign.
Flies off. I'm rage.
And here is you in the timeline, and when he died, and going forward, here's when that campaign started.
Oh, so this takes place before.
Mm-hmm.
So he could. I guess he could fight his way back up, and I mean, there's.
That means son of a bitch. You fucking swam home.
I was like swimming at that distance, but maybe.
I mean, I would think they have all kinds of safety things to
Yeah.
keep them from falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
No,
like.
he
Well, I mean,
he splashed
rail
down. He
I'll say.
splashed
Oh, he
down.
actually hit the water?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's like
Yeah,
modern
he got
day.
shot. His armor got blasted. He got hit. Fell into the water. Fell into
Yeah.
a demon thing.
He fell that
Well,
far.
for
No, he's
rail
dead.
maintenance, I don't know what it is in Place in the Dark, but for rail maintenance, they can't always time it such that a train ain't coming by.
Yeah.
It's like you look at the real world. You drive under, at least in the U.S., a train bridge. You will notice there's a tiny little booth
Yep.
about every 100
Right.
feet, 200 feet, something like that. So if there's somebody that's either walking the bridge because they're a dumbass or doing an inspection or maintenance, all of a sudden they hear that choo-choo,
Right.
that they can run their ass off and make it that little booth hanging off the side, at least not get annihilated until the train passes.
Flint's that plot point. Like in the previous campaign, him and Dr. Danchev, the woman that kissed him and stuff, that was like part of an A plot for them. That was this whole arc. You guys are not going to have anything to do with that. I just pulled that to add color to this campaign.
Yeah.
So one thing is that I and Wayne could tell you because he's been in all the campaigns, and I think he kind of mentioned it, is this is all one world.
Yeah.
So it is 3 campaigns, 3 different groups, 3 doing totally different things, and it is all the same setting I have in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's just at some different parts. None of you are going to be touching the A plots. I am pulling characters in some situations.
That kind of rough knuckle woman that keeps hanging out across.
Yeah.
Is that Dawn's character?
That's Dawn's character.
That's what I
Reed.
thought. Yeah.
And the sailors, that's her bar. That was her character. And the sailors and the guy who came out without the teeth.
Yeah.
I didn't make any of that up. That's all her characters. Because she's one of the ones who makes the big
Big
backgrounds. and all-
roster, right?
Right, yeah. There's this whole big thing. And there's a reason why he came out, the guy without the teeth. It was like, come on, Reef, let's go back in. And I've read all her stuff, and again, they're just characters to color in the lines.
She did all the work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
The Takariosin in the whorehouse was the pasty one, the pale one with the pure white eyes. That was Wayne's character in the previous game. His prostitute. That's his whorehouse. The golden cat is his. Again, all these characters, all this stuff. So, yeah. And I mentioned the crows and the red sashes, and about how they're the 2 biggest gangs and they had been at war and blah blah blah. The arc in one of the other campaigns is about that war, and so but here it's just a mention. It's just kind of you guys aren't going to be dealing with the crows and their war with the red sashes. You're dealing with other things because I love this sort of world that I've made on top of Blades, and that I have taken from the stuff that other people have made in that and make it this world. But I don't want you telling their stories. I don't want them telling your stories. I want you guys telling your story. And so so you guys have your own A plot, your own victors. You're not building off of stuff from other people.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else? If not, then
You guys did great. That was awesome. I have to say I'm really glad we did a lot of role playing in the front of this. Besides the fact that it was fun and it was really good too, but it allowed me to cut the score in half. So next time we can get Wayne in on the score. So,
And I was right about the bitches.
No, you absolutely were. That's the best part. I think is that I smoked that cunt cigarette.
No, and they weren't poisoning her or anything like that. She was just, they knew who you were.
Right.
And I was trying to
It
communicate.
was like a wink and a nod that, like, we know here you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I even kind of took it as a professional courtesy, and maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but the job, at least in this case, it's not personal.
No.
It's if we just were willing to hand them the case,
Yeah.
which obviously we wouldn't have, but if we had, they probably have just walked away. I mean,
who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Well, the rollers wouldn't because they're idiots. But
Well, right. But I'm saying for them, they seem a little more clean around the edges than the rollers, so less brutish. That if we had just been willing to give them the ones, they'd have just gone their merry way, and that would have been it. It's not personal.
Yeah, but they did kind of make it personal with the kidnapping one of our members.
Well, yeah.
and they had to. He was handcuffed to the case.
Yeah, it was
I get that, but they made it personal.
They threw me off of a train.
Right.
And they threw him off of a train, and I'm ready to kill all of them.
And one,
I don't even know he's alive.
I don't know who said it, but it was it kind of hit the nail on the head with the cigarette thing. It's like it was a power play, right? They knew you didn't know, and it's like it's the counting coup thing. So you're running up to your enemy and tap on the shoulder. Yeah, it's like here, have a cigarette, sort of thing. But yeah, one of the things I don't think I was able to communicate it well enough, because this was another thing where I had this situation in my head for like a month now, is she's leaning against the door of the room, and the door is locked, and I wanted someone, is Reggie I picked, come up and confront her. And what had happened, what they were doing is she was leaning against the room, and she cast the shadow underneath the door.
That's so cool.
And the person came out and clocked Callum and then did the escape. And she's standing there so that the person could drop back into the shadow, and then they walk away. Except Reggie came up.
Right. She's got to escape through the window, and then shit hits the fan.
Right.
So is the train the rollers are on, is it going the same direction?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we slowed down, was to let their train catch up.
So that was the hint too, right? When you guys were back at the station, you looked at it's like, okay, so the rollers are going to try to do something. They're going to come over, they're going to jump the tracks, or they're going to do something, or they're going to get there. That was your big thing, is that they're going to get to midpoint first and be waiting for us. I was like, no, they're not. Your train leaves early. They're going to be way behind.
Unless the train slows down.
Unless the train slows down.
Yeah, let somebody of them catch up.
Yep.
And,
Which it was awesome that you guys didn't track that, because it allowed me to make the scene. It would have been awesome if you had followed that, because there would have been clues. There would have been a paid-off engineer. There would have been, like different stuff. You could have sabotaged their train. You could have investigated. And even if you had done all of that and taken the train, the train out of the picture, there was still the shadow cloakers there. And those shadow cloakers were like, okay, well, there's only 2 of them. We can take 2 of them. Well, that was part of their plan. Even if you had hooked onto them, said, oh, well, they're danger, you think there's only 2. There's not 2, there's 4. And they didn't let you know that. And 2 of those 4 are like Reggie and Jack. And so that's dangerous.
Very cool.
Thank you. You guys are cool. That was awesome. You guys did some awesome moves.
catch you kids next time.
Yeah, later.